One of you to this public hearing. The County Executive, Prince George's County Executive Angela Alsobrooks is hosting to hear from you, our parents, our community members, our business owners about what you would like to see in your next Prince George's County Public Schools Chief Executive Officer. And so we are looking forward tonight to hearing your comments, suggestions, thoughts about the characteristics, the traits, the qualities you would like to see in the next CEO. Now, I know there are a number of people who have signed up that aren't necessarily signed up to speak about the CEO search or the search process itself. We are asking if you do have comments about other issues outside of the CEO search, that either you email those comments to countyexecutive@co.pg.md.us. Again, that is county executive, all one word, at co.pg.md.us. Again, we want to hear from our community members about each and everything that concerns them or thoughts that they may have about our school system. But again, tonight is solely about the CEO search for Prince George's County Public Schools. But I do not want to take up the time going through any of our, some of the technicalities and logistics. I want to bring before you tonight first our wonderful Prince George's County Executive, Miss Angela Alsobrooks.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you all feel more enthusiastic than that. Can I say it again? Good evening, everyone. What an amazing evening this is. I don't know about you, but I felt so good to drive up to the school today and to notice all the cars in the parking lot. This is one of the most important meetings we will host in this community. And I don't know about you, but I am just so thrilled to have the opportunity to have the conversation tonight. There is nothing more important than the future of our children. Nothing more important than the future of our children. And we are so fortunate to be able to have each of you have input tonight regarding the selection of the person who will lead our school system. Everything that we do on a daily basis is to provide the best possible future for our children and to ensure that they are ready to step into that future and become the leaders that we know they can be. Means that we must have good leadership over our school system. And that leadership starts today. The leader that is going to set the course and play such a large role in how we educate our children and ensure that every child in Prince George's County has access to a first-class education starts with this particular process. You've heard me say it before, and I'll say it again, that education truly is the civil rights issue of our day. And so this decision is so important. And we want to ensure that our children learn in a classroom that is befitting of their dignity, and that the leadership reflects it. I know all of you, and I have to tell you, I feel like you do. Dr. Monica Golson is currently serving as interim CEO of our school system, and her term will end on June 30th. So we have to move forward to select a permanent CEO. But before we begin tonight, I have to tell you, I've already heard from you loud and clear. People stopped me over the weekend and said, I'm going to come to that meeting on Monday and don't feel offended by the energy that I bring, but I don't know why in the world you're conducting a search, because we love Dr. Monica Golson. And what a blessed position that is for us to be in, for you all to pack the parking lot tonight, not to tell me that you want to run our interim CEO out of town, but to tell me that you love to keep her really is a blessing. But you know what? In answer to your question, we're doing this because this is what the law requires. That law requires that we must go through this process. It is not a law that I enacted, but I'm here to make sure that we enforce the law and that we do things in decency and order. And so we must get started with our search and selection process. And before we did that, as promised, I told you before we engaged in this selection process that I would come to this community and make sure that you had an opportunity to be heard. And so that is what tonight is about, is coming to each of you to give you an opportunity to be heard, to also give you an opportunity to meet the members of the selection committee, as well as we have 2 representatives here from the search firm that will conduct a nationwide search for candidates. But before we do that, I want to just explain to you the process, the selection process, and how it works in our county. State law, Maryland state law, requires the governor to appoint 3 members to the selection committee, and I want you to know that those 3 members are here tonight. We had the opportunity, and you know that I made it my business to go and visit with the governor before he selected that selection committee to have a discussion with him, and we're very pleased with the 3 members that he appointed. The 3 members are Aretha Bridgewater Sims. Aretha, please raise your hand. Hallie Williams. Hallie is here. And Brigadier General Warner Sumter is here as well. I want to thank him for his presence. Now, I'm sure that as many of you know, Aretha has spent more than 40 years working in the education field. She's been a teacher, a vice principal, and a regional superintendent during her time in our school. She is extremely committed to Prince George's County and its children, and I want to thank you so much, Aretha, for agreeing to be on the selection committee. We also have, thank you, Hallie Williams, who is a parent of children in our school system. He's also very active in our schools. He's serving as president of the Accokeek Academy PTSA. He's serving as judge in the PGCPS STEM Fair. He's serving as a parent volunteer in the PGCPS Elementary Math Textbook Review and Selection Process, and has been very engaged in many other volunteer activities. And finally, Brigadier General Sumter, who is our representative from the State Board of Education. He's been an advocate for public education, is a former member of the Somerset County Board of Education, where he served as chairman of the board for multiple terms. He has also supported and provided leadership to the Maryland Association of Boards of Education, serving on the board of directors as president and secretary, and on several committees and commissions. I believe that we have a really strong selection committee, and I look forward to the nominees they will send to us for consideration. Before they can vet those nominees, candidates will be sent to them from the firm that will conduct the nationwide search. That firm will be Hazard, Young, Attea and Associates, also known as HYA. Tonight we have Hank Harris. Thank you so much, Hank, for being here. And Brad Drager joining us as representatives from HYA. Thank you. Now that you've met the selection committee and the search firm, I'd like to talk to you a bit about how this process will work for us. To begin, HYA will conduct a nationwide search for candidates. Once that is done, they will send 6 to 7 candidates to the selection committee. And from there, the selection committee will conduct interviews and send 3 candidates for me to consider. As I interview each of the candidates, I will keep all of your thoughts and concerns in mind, while also seeking the opinions of our county council, members of the county state delegation, Board of Education, our labor partners, and all others who have a vested stake in this particular selection. It is so important to me that this process is inclusive and that it allows everyone who has a stake in our school system and everyone who is involved with funding our schools to have a voice in the process. Once all of that has taken place, I will make my decision and send that name to the Board of Education. From there, the board will negotiate a contract with our selection and then send a letter to the state superintendent, Dr. Karen Salmon, notifying her of the appointment. Dr. Salmon will then make the final approval for our selection. Now, I know I've heard already from some of you that you're concerned that the final approval has to come from the state, especially those of you who feel that there's already a lot of state involvement in this process, and trust me, there is. But final approval from Dr. Salmon is something that every jurisdiction in our state is required to have. And so Prince George's County is not unusual in that regard. This happens in every single instance throughout the state. So this is the process that we have outlined. It is one, of course, as I have described to you, and it's important that you understand this is all mandated by law. And what we're doing in this instance, and I have already told you we're going to do it in every single instance, we will follow the process. We will do everything in decency and good order and with transparency. This is a transparent process. It's very important that you understand each aspect of it. and that your engagement is important to us. I'm interested and excited to hear from all of you tonight. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out to come tonight to make your thoughts and concerns known to each of us. It's so important, and I'm just really excited about this process. And I have to just say, I'm just glad that it's getting started. And after this process is done, we can move forward with the selection of our permanent CEO and continue. I believe we've had a wonderful year with the leadership that we have seen, and I'm just looking forward to more. So I thank you so much for being out here, and I'm going to turn back over the program to Erica Wilson. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Alsobrooks. I neglected in my welcome to identify and acknowledge our elected officials who are here this evening. When I call your name, if you could please stand. We have from District 5, Councilwoman Jolene Ivey. At-large Councilman Calvin Hawkins. From Legislative District 24, Senator Joanne Benson. We have from the Prince George's County Democratic Central Committee, Legislative District 23A, Cheryl Landis. And we have several of our members of the Prince George's County Board of Education here this evening. From District 3, Ms. Pamela Boozer-Struther. From District 5, Ms. Rahila Ahmed. From District 6, Ms. Belinda Queen. From District 7, Mr. K. Alexander Wallace. From District 9, Ms. Sonia Williams. And I believe I saw, even though he wasn't on my list, I believe I saw our illustrious chair walk in, Dr. Alvin Thornton. I know I saw him. Oh, there he is. And so again, just to reiterate some of the points that I made in the beginning regarding this process, to hear from you, our community members, about what you would like to see in a CEO and any comments you may have about the process overall. Because of the number, I mentioned at the beginning, because of the number of people that we had interested in speaking or have signed up to speak this evening, we are limiting comments to 2 minutes. So you have 2 minutes for your comments. And again, we ask that you limit your comments to discussing any qualities, characteristics, or traits that you would like to see in your next CEO. Or if you have any comments or suggestions about the search process. That is why we're here this evening. We want to make sure that we respect everyone's time and that people are here to hear from you about what you would like to see in the next CEO. So with that, I would like to call our first speaker to the mic, and we do have 2 mics, one here and one over there. Our first speaker is Senator Joanne Benson.
Good evening, everybody. If we don't educate our children, we don't have to worry about a future because there won't be one. I spent 40 years of my life in the Prince George's County Public Schools. I'm here tonight to speak for Dr. Golson, Dr. Monica Golson, who has been in Prince George's County all of her life. She attended the Prince George's County Public Schools, graduated from Potomac High School. But listen to this: teacher, instructional specialist, assistant principal, associate superintendent for high schools, chief operation officer, deputy superintendent for teaching and learning, interim chief executive office. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that in each of these capacities, she has done a stellar job while serving in the capacity of what we see her doing right now. She knows and understands every aspect of the school district. She has worked in both the instructional and the operations side. She has built relationships with the Board of Education, parents, students, employees, community members, labor unions, and elected officials. She's demonstrated her unwavering commitment to Prince George's County Public Schools and continues to put children first. I recommend highly that she be offered the permanent position as Chief Executive Officer for Prince George's County Public Schools. A national search would cost the taxpayers over $100,000. Why would we waste money on nothing on a national search when the most qualified candidate is already here and is deserving of nothing less than to serve as the next Chief Executive Officer of Prince George's County Public Schools? I might quickly add that I'm the chair of the Prince George's County Senators. I fought hard for bringing back that $2.1 billion for the school system, plus $53 million. And I'll tell you right now, we are not happy. $100,000 on a search for a superintendent. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator. Before we go on, I want to acknowledge they are both, and you know what, and I'm just going to go ahead and say both of our father and mother in the ministry, pastors Joanne and Granger Browning, are here tonight. I want to thank them so much, and they are both, to me and to Monica, our fathers and mother in ministry. So I want to just thank them so much for being here tonight. And I want to say to Senator Benson, now, Senator Benson, I am not a legislator. I'm just going to be real honest about this. I did not pass this law. I was not in Annapolis when they passed it. I'm the county executive, and so I understand the frustration about the search. But as we all know, this was enacted in law before I got here. The folks before me decided that this was the way the process had to be, had to go, and so here we are. But we are going to do our best to follow through on the process, and I share your admiration for Dr. Golson. I have to tell you, she's truly amazing. She is absolutely amazing. I have had the smoothest 5 months I could imagine. I could not imagine, I think, a more professional relationship than the one that we have enjoyed with Dr. Golson. And I might also add that, again, the $3.5 billion that we brought back together from Annapolis came back in part because Dr. Golson and I were there almost on a weekly basis together. Together. Yes, so we were there together. We were together, so she did an amazing job, and so we are really honored to have her here, and also to have her a part of she's a part of this process. Okay, so that's clear too. So thank you so much, Senator.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Cheryl Landis.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cheryl Landis, and I'm a proud retiree from Prince George's County Public Schools. I am honored to endorse and highly recommend Dr. Monica Golson for the position of CEO of Prince George's County Public Schools. During my 27-year tenure with the school system, I gained firsthand knowledge of Dr. Golson's advocacy, visionary leadership, and commitment to our students and families. I was privileged to work with Dr. Golson during my 17-year tenure as the Board of Education's Executive Administrative Officer, and again during my 10-year tenure as the school system's Strategic Business Partnerships Specialist. Having firsthand knowledge of Dr. Golson's impeccable work ethic further validates the sincerity of this endorsement. I do not offer it lightly, and I stand firmly on its merits, as I have tremendous respect for Dr. Golson, as well as an unwavering love and compassion for our beloved school system. Yes, Dr. Golson is more than qualified for the position of CEO, for she has proven herself time and time again. She has the necessary training, experience, knowledge, skills, wisdom, intelligence, and discernment to ensure that all students have access to high-quality learning environments, support systems, and opportunities that successfully prepare them to graduate college and career ready, regardless of their background, zip code, or socioeconomic status. I have watched her passionately and unapologetically advocate for all students. She further understands the commitment of time, energy, and resources needed to collaboratively work with all stakeholders to restore the trust and rebuild the perception of public education in Prince George's County. Dr. Golson clearly understands the importance of developing effective, proactive, and timely communication strategies that are aligned with the school system's mission, vision, and goals. One thing I know for certain, ladies and gentlemen, is that we cannot and must not continue to engage in the hit or miss revolving door.
Thank you, Ms. Landis. Next, we have Reverend Joanne Browning from Ebenezer AME.
Good evening. Good evening, our County Executive Angela Alsobrooks, to the selection committee, and all I gathered here this evening, to the politicians, educators, parents, and the Prince George's community, and to my Ebenezer AME Church family that are here in support. I come before you to express my unwavering support for Dr. Golston. We have been in this county serving in ministry for just about 36 years now, and we have lived here for almost 40 years. Our children went to Potomac Landing Elementary School. Our son went to Eugene Burroughs Middle School, which is now, as many of you know, Accokeek Academy. Our daughter-in-law is an educator at Accokeek Academy, and 2 of our grandchildren are students there. Our oldest granddaughter is at Gwynn Park High School, and our son is an educator in special education department, Excel Chartered School in Landover, Maryland. Our interest and concern for the quality of education is for all of our children and grandchildren in Prince George's County. The concern goes deep and wide as a mother, a grandmother, and a minister. And as you know, Dr. Monica Golston is a product of Prince George's County school system, and her love and commitment was instilled in her by her parents and further enforced by her own journey as a student and an educator at Prince George's County. As interim CEO, she has brought to the table experience and expertise, commitment, and compassion. Dr. Monica Golston has a heartfelt desire to serve an invested interest and relentless drive. We have seen her work in church, and with excellence, she has been extremely effective in leading our scholarship committee, reviewing applications, and dealing with everything that needs to be done with integrity for students in Prince George's County. We know that she has been a dedicated educator in Prince George's County public education system and has worked in professional capacities. Lastly, when she was appointed as interim CEO, with all the experience and expertise she had accomplished, she achieved, she did it with her heart and her.
If we can please ask the House Tech to please not cut the mics off. Again, please, we're asking the House Techs to not please cut off the man mic where the commenters are standing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pastor Browning. And I couldn't agree more. Dr. Golston has represented us with so much dignity, and I think the act speaks for itself. The presence that we have here tonight, and I have to tell you, I've conducted a good number of community meetings. In fact, we conducted just 7 last month alone, and in each of those meetings, we have heard unanimously how pleased the community is with the work that she has done so far. So thank you so much. Your presence here, you and Pastor Granger, it speaks volumes for her, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Reverend Browning. And our next speaker is Reverend Granger Browning.
Good evening. First, I would like to say thank you to our county exec. She has been in office just a few months, but we do want to say thank you. Her theme was the best is yet to come. I think we can now say the best has come. And we just want to say thank you so much. We have been honored to be the pastor of Dr. Golston now for over 30 years. And she has shown not only as a church member, but also as a community resident, her qualifications for this position as a permanent CEO. We come today because, as my wife has shared, 3 of our grandchildren are in Prince George's County schools. And during Christmas and Thanksgiving, it's my job to cook breakfast. And I cook pancakes. And so after I finished cooking pancakes, all the family was asking how it's done, and I told them the ingredients. And then our grandson, Granger IV, who's at Accokeek Academy, said, the reason these pancakes taste so good is because of love. Love makes the difference. And so that's really what I want to talk about Dr. Golston. It's love makes the difference. She loves Prince George's County, and that makes a difference. She loves children, that makes a difference. She loves the faculty, she loves students, she loves the administrators, that makes a difference. And because of her love for the county, because of her love for the school, because of her love for education, the best is going to be coming through her. But we also want to say, as interim, the best has come. God bless you.
Thank you, Reverend Browning. Our next speaker is Reverend Tony Lee.
To our county exec, to our committee, I'm grateful and honored to be here. I am Reverend Tony Lee, the pastor of the Community of Hope AME Church. And I used to like you all until you made me come after both Drs. Browning. I don't know what I can do after that, but to say I want to throw my rock as well for Dr. Monica Goldson. When we look at what is needed in this county, when we look at what is needed in our educational system, Dr. Monica Goldson is the one. I am a product of this county's educational system, Apple Grove Elementary, Lord Baltimore Middle, Friendly High School. I even decided to stay in the county to go to college, University of Maryland College Park. And we need someone here who, one, knows the county, but two, who cares about all of the county. As a pastor inside the Beltway, Prince George's County, and Iverson Mall, Hillcrest Heights, Maryland, one of the challenges we often find is that there has been this disparity between outside the Beltway and inside the Beltway communities, that outside the Beltway communities got so much while inside the Beltway communities got neglected. But I am excited about Dr. Goldson because she cares about the whole community, and all of us rise together. And so I emphatically say we need her. We need her not just for up on this end, but we need her through the whole county, because all of our children deserve the best education this world can get, because all of our children are the best this world has to offer. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Reverend Lee. Our next speaker is Mr. James Estep of the Prince George's County Business Roundtable.
Good evening, Madam County Executive. Great to see you. Wanted to let everyone know that it's a real thanks to all of you for being here tonight. It's not just the community, but you guys are coming out here and you're joining us this evening to hear what it is we have to say, and it really is appreciated. Just going to take a moment. Want to let you know that on behalf of our president, MH Jim Estep, and our chair, Jeff Pohanka, and the entire membership of the Greater Prince George's Business Roundtable, we enthusiastically support retaining our current CEO and making her the permanent choice. She is quite simply a great partner to the community, a great partner to business, a great partner to the families of Prince George's County, and a great partner to the children that are our future workforce. So there is really nothing else to say except please keep Dr. Goldson in her post. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Estep. And before we go to our next speaker, I do want to acknowledge we have another board member here, our at-large board member, Mr. Curtis Valentine. Please raise your hand. Thank you. Our next speaker is Ms. Yvette Lewis.
Thank you very much, Madam County Executive and members of the panel. My remarks will be brief. I am a resident of Prince George's County and a lifelong educator. I have conducted workshops for teachers and have been an artist in residence in the Prince George's County schools. And I know firsthand that the reality of the Prince George's County schools is far superior and nowhere near the false perception. But today I'm here as a member of the community and joined by the president of my homeowners association. I don't have children enrolled in the schools, but I do have an interest in the children in the schools and in their well-being. I have been heartened and encouraged by what I see under Dr. Goldson's leadership. I had the pleasure, along with my boss, Senator Chris Van Hollen, of spending the morning of the first day of school with her, and I could sense then that she was going to bring a new spirit to the job, a level of competence enhanced by an understanding of our children that was born of many years. She knows Prince George's County as a student, a parent with children enrolled in the schools, and as an educator. There is no better trifecta than that. I'm excited to see what we can achieve under her leadership. It is imperative that her vision is realized and her work with our children continues. We will all benefit. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. I also wanted to acknowledge Ms. Eve Schuman from Chris Van Hollen's office. Ms. Schuman, if you're here, thank you. Our next speaker, and I will try my best with all the names this evening, but please, I apologize in advance. Mr. Rocky Takapu, or Takapu? Okay. Our next speaker is Ms. Rebecca Weidman. Okay, our next speaker is Ms. Laurie Morrow.
Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity tonight. My name is Laurie Morrow. I am my 11th year as a PGCPS parent, still at Tulip Grove Elementary in Bowie. I'm also active with the Prince George's County Advocates for Better Schools and have been working with PGCEA as a parent organizer since August. I've been very pleased with the job that Dr. Goldson has done this year, but whether it is Dr. Goldson or someone else, I want to ensure that the permanent PGCPS CEO deserves the legitimacy that comes from selection through this open and transparent process. Above all else, the CEO needs to have the trust and respect of our community. I ask that our CEO of the Prince George's County Public School System be someone that puts children in classrooms first, supports educators and staff, including continued efforts to restore fair compensation, supports parent community involvement, and ensures that all school leaders do as well, works to improve all neighborhood schools, is transparent when issues arise, and is accessible and responsive to the community. I believe that Dr. Goldson fits that bill this year, and hope that we can have some consistency as we move forward in PGCPS. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Morrow. Our next speaker is Ms. Stacy Gatlin. Ms. Gatlin. Okay. Okay, our next speaker is Ms. Alexandra Briggs Blake.
Good evening. Thank you so much. My name is Alexandra Briggs Blake. I wear many hats and been around advocating for children in Prince George's County and national and state levels for 25 plus years. I've seen quite a few PGCPS superintendents over the years come and go. Most of them were good. And for the record, I think we should revert back to superintendent instead of CEO. It takes a strong, almost superhuman, to be the superintendent responsible for managing and overseeing the 209 schools in Prince George's County. And much about the position itself is dysfunctional. Our next superintendent must have a proven track record of success in a diverse school district such as PGCPS, possess clear working knowledge of the various core competencies of a superintendent, instructional, managerial, financial, legal, personal, and have the ability to establish baseline to align these core competencies. I recently had dinner with some teachers, and I've spoken with elected officials, principals before this evening, just to find some of their top issues. Disciplinary problems from students in the classrooms, major concerns about students being unable to grasp the Common Core, the need for better human resources, including mental health professionals in the classrooms and teacher assistants, and more guidance counselors. Many students are concerned that they will not be college ready when they leave PGCPS. Teachers and staffs are being put on administrative leave too quickly. As a result, unplanned long-term superintendents and teachers are expected to resume the teacher duties, which is unrealistic. A superintendent, a great superintendent, is not afraid to stand alone at times, take risks, make commitment, think outside of the box, and set boldly goals. I would just like to add at the end that I too feel that Dr. Goldson is doing a great job. In closing, I feel the superintendent must provide our teachers with their step pay increase. It is imperative that we attract and retain highly qualified teachers and ensure they are included in the decision-making process. Student success, their future depends on it, and a conducive environment to learning. So we need to make sure we pay them more. Thank you.
Thank you. One other item to note, and I apologize for not noting this in the beginning, we will have a survey that we will be sharing with the community. We hope to have that survey link provided to you no later than Friday. So I ask that you visit the PGCPS website as well as the county executive's website for that link. HYA will be conducting a survey to get additional input from our community members who cannot be here this evening, or if you have additional thoughts that you want to share, we will be conducting a survey for that. Just so we can kind of speed the hearing up, I'm going to call a couple of names in series so that we can already have you approach the mic, and that you can already be near the mic when your turn has been called. The next three speakers we have are Ms. Tanya Sweat, Ms. Dolores Milhouse, and Mr. Noah Milhouse. So Ms. Tanya Sweat.
Good evening. Thank you for holding this public hearing. I am a proud parent of 2 PGCPS students and the president of the PTSA of the Oxon Hill High School Clippers Incorporated. In addition to my children being enrolled in PGCPS, I served 2 years as a substitute teacher in the school system and as a parent leader for an additional 2. My comments this evening are based on these experiences. In summary, PGCPS parents are tired of our public school system being ranked 25th out of 26 in the state of Maryland. From my observations, PGCPS requires a systemic overhaul, and that will require a revolutionary, courageous, and daring leader. The next PGCPS CEO must understand the diverse student population and their needs in order to effect positive change. PGCPS also needs a positive change in its organizational culture. Teachers, parents, employees, and students must be sincerely respected and free from retaliation. The next PGCPS CEO must be a 21st century leader, educator, manager, and administrator. He or she must understand and accept that while teachers are experts in instructional design and pedagogy, they are not necessarily qualified to oversee and manage every aspect of the organizational component of PGCPS. In other words, this person must accept that educators are not necessarily qualified to manage contracts or serve as a project manager, a human resource manager, or a financial manager. He or she must recruit and retain subject matter experts who are dedicated to public service and education, as well as hold all PGCPS stakeholders accountable. We need a servant leader who will shield our children from politics and who is willing to support the control, turning the control back over to our community and not leave it in the hands of elected officials who don't have students enrolled in our school system. In close, I am concerned that the selection process could have been more transparent to our community. Nevertheless, I appreciate the opportunity to provide my comments and will leave a printed copy for your consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Sweat. Our next speaker is Ms. Dolores Milhouse.
I don't know if I want to follow that. Enough said, drop mic. Good evening. My name is Dolores Milhouse, and I am a parent, as you all see, and a continued advocate here in the school district. My passion and love for the school district has been based on my why, which are my children. And Dr. Golson has been one who's thought about loving our children, teaching our children, and truly, truly committing herself to making sure that she continues the education of our children. One of the things that's most important to me as a parent is not just to have an educational curriculum that's out there, but something that's of high quality and that is developmentally appropriate. Tonight I come before you in support of adding Dr. Golson as the most qualified candidate to your continued search, because she brings not only her experience as a PGCPS employee, but she also is a resident of this beautiful county, but she loves our children. My recommendation is not solely based on that, but more so because of her vision, dedication, and commitment to moving this Prince George's County public school system from good to great. The school district has seen a lot of turnover in leadership, but based on statistics, the average life cycle of a superintendent is 3.5 years. This is not even enough time to put plans into place. Dr. Golson has proven that she is committed to a job that answers to everyone, a role that requires one to be politically savvy, gracious, humble, a strong leader, a high level of emotional intelligence, has honesty, strategic, and most of all, passionate about our children and our teachers. Dr. Golson has equalities and is continuing to lay out strategies that are making sure that our students are learning and achieving at a high level. She is knowledgeable about the best practices for maximizing the achievements of our students and willing to listen to the input that highlight other innovative ways to get things done. Our school district needs stability, which will move us towards continuous improvement strategies. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Milhouse. Next, we have Mr. Noah Milhouse. Mr. Milhouse, can you reach the mic? Or you can probably pull it out. There you go.
Buenas noches. Buenas noches, Ejecutivo del Condado Alsobrooks. Mi nombre es Noah Milhouse. Soy un estudiante de tercer grado en la clase de inmersión de español Phyllis Williams. Hoy estoy aquí para decirle por qué debería encontrar al Dr. Golson como nuestro director ejecutivo permanente de las escuelas. Normalmente hago mis discursos en español, pero hoy voy a hacer mi discurso en inglés. Good evening, County Executive Alsobrooks. My name is Noah Milhouse, and I am a third grader in Phyllis Williams Spanish Immersion School. I am here today to tell you why you should hire Dr. Golson as our permanent CEO of schools. I usually do my speeches in Spanish, but today I'm going to do my speech in English. I really like learning a new language, and I'm getting better at speaking, writing, reading in both English and Spanish. This is just one program that I like that our school district is offering. My mom told me that you all were letting people come share what they felt about searching for a new CEO. But why do you need to find a new CEO if Dr. Golson is trying to make things better for all programs, not just Spanish immersion? My mom and I have been advocating, making sure that my friends and I can keep learning languages through high school. But I also want to advocate for programs that help teachers deal with stress. If you change CEOs, will I have to start advocating from the beginning? What if they don't want to support the great things that are working now? My dad said that changing leaders is not bad, but it may take time to get used to another game plan. I think that we need to give Dr. Golson time to make things better for us. We need to help her and work as a team. If her game plan is working, maybe we will be the best school district that everybody wants to visit. Muchas gracias y buenas tardes.
Muchas gracias, Senora Noah. Thank you so much, Noah. We appreciate you so much and so proud of you. So very, very proud of you.
Our next three speakers, you can approach the mic, Ms. Jana Parker, Ms. Pebbles Fryer, and Ms. Linda Thornton Thomas.
Good evening. So I grew up in Prince George's County. I'm a community member. Hi, Ms. Berry. I've gone to pretty much all of the school board meetings in the last 3 to 5 years. So I have a pretty good idea of what needs to be done in relation to Prince George's County Public Schools. I will say that my only disappointment in this process is the short amount of time. Dr. Golson's contract is up on the 30th, and it's May 13th. And then there has to be a nationwide search, and then there has to be an interview for candidates, and then there has to be a vetting process from the community. That's so short a window. And it's not to say that, it's just short. It's short for transparency, and it's short for the process. And I know that the community strongly supports Dr. Golson, and in about 5 seconds I'm gonna talk about my support of her. But I want it to be clear that she has this job, not because the window was so short, but because she deserves it. When I want a CEO, I want someone I can talk to about my problems with the school system. I want someone who is listening to me, not just saying, oh, okay, and then pushing them on the back burner. I want somebody responsive. I want someone that I can go to about the great things in Prince George's County, the things that need to be worked out in Prince George's County. I want somebody who grew up here, who knows the county itself, who knows the inside, outside beltway issues, who knows the concerns about the community, someone I can talk to and who is a part of my community. I want somebody who has kids in the school system. I want somebody who knows the school system, and that's what Dr. Golson is. I'm just concerned, like other people have said, that the time is so short that it doesn't give okay, I got 15 seconds. It doesn't give the proof to how great of an interim CEO and how wonderful of a superintendent she would be, because she definitely deserves it, and that's somebody that I am supporting. And I hope that next time, if there is for this, there's a consideration for this time period, that there is a consideration for how short this window is, and that there is the delivered promise of the repeal of HB 1107. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Parker. Our next speaker is Ms. Pebbles Fryer.
Hello, everyone. I have been a parent of Prince George's County Public Schools for 20 years. I've also been an employee for over 13 years. During my time here, I have seen about 8 superintendents come and go. Although I do not know Dr. Golson personally, however, I have witnessed her work throughout the divisions that I have the privilege to serve. My reasons for wanting Dr. Golson to be appointed the CEO of Prince George's County Schools is because she believes in our children. She also believes in her employees, and she also believes in this county. She has been serving diligently for Prince George's County Schools for over 27 years. Dr. Golson recently hosted a leadership conference. Dr. Golson recently hosted a leadership conference for the support staff that I had the pleasure to attend. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I was valued as an employee. At Prince George's County, I felt that I mattered as a support professional. I believe that Dr. Golson would be the best person to govern over our school system because she has set the tone for positivity and social change. She also has created a positive environment throughout the whole entire school system. So I want to thank you, Dr. Golson, for your commitment and diligence into serving our school system and the community of Prince George's County. Regardless of the outcome, please do not stop working for us because God rewards those who diligently serve, and I'm a believer that you do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Ms. Linda Thornton Thomas.
Hello, everyone. I'm actually getting my slide if that's okay.
So I want to thank Ms. Thornton Thomas for giving us her slot. My name is Neetha Paul, and I'm here with Michelle Hall, and we're both juvenile public defenders in Prince George's County. And we wanted to share, thank you for this public participation, this opportunity to speak, and we wanted to share that we represent young people in this county every single day who experience the harmful effect of exclusionary discipline in Prince George's County Public Schools. So not just kids who are getting arrested, but kids who are getting suspended every single day for things that there is a more productive response. And we know that from the data, and I'm just going to give some highlights for folks in the room. Even though African American children make up 58% of children in the county, in the school system, they make up 78% of out-of-school suspensions. Even though children with disabilities make up 11% of students in the county, they make up 24% of out-of-school suspensions. And here, our youngest learners, elementary school students, make up over 1 in 4 out-of-school suspensions in the entire state, coming all from our county. So we're here to say that this is a major issue, and whoever is the next leader should certainly address it. I'm going to cede the rest of my time to Ms. Hall.
Thank you. And it's very clear to us in our work and also from the data that these violations are routine. There is not a single case, I've been a public defender since September, and there is not a single case that comes across my desk with one of our children that live here in this county that does not have an issue of exclusionary discipline, discriminatory discipline, and those types of issues that we're concerned with. All of these issues are exacerbated by the presence of police in our schools. I'm concerned about the criminalization of conduct that when I was in school, which was not that long ago, would not have led to a suspension, let alone an expulsion or criminal consequences. I'm disturbed by the recent partnership that was announced between the Sheriff's Office and middle schools, adding police to middle schools to interface with students on a daily basis and normalizing the policing of our communities. The next CEO of Prince George's County Public Schools is going to have to be a visionary leader who can see beyond business as usual and who will take these violations seriously. And that's also going to hold those working underneath him or her as part of this system accountable to ensure that they are working towards a school system that focuses on restorative practices and not exclusionary discipline. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we move on to our next 3 speakers, I would like to acknowledge Delegate Derek Davis. I mean, if you can wave your hand, I know I was told you were here. I see you in the back. Welcome, Delegate Davis. Our next 3 speakers, Ms. Tamara McKinney, Ms. Sue Laverra, and Dr. Rodney Henderson.
Good evening. I'm not going to take the 2 full minutes because Nita Powell is talking about my grandson. I would like for whoever the next CEO to be a person that thinks outside of the box. I would also like for them to consider students that come up with ways for students that are not necessarily college bound to be successful. Because just because you do not head to college does not mean you cannot take pride in a trade. It does not mean that you can't take pride in wanting to work. I want my kids to go to college. I want my grandkids to go to college. But that's not in the cards for everyone. So we need to make sure that all children in this state and county are successful. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McKinney. Ms. Sue Laverra.
Greetings all, and thank you for this. Something I'd like to talk about is you all know that we elected Angela Alsobrooks because she's the real deal. Well, you listen to what she's saying about Dr. Goldson, who's another real deal. I was a counselor in Capitol Heights and Bowie from 1996 to 2011 and then retired. In these 8 years, I continued to work in the schools through the Green Schools program. But I have gotten to know Dr. Goldson in 2 ways. One, when she first came to Bowie for her open community, open houses things, I was blown away by her process. I'm a big believer in process, and people have referred to this. But it's the way she stood at the microphone and said, please come up and tell me your concerns. And she sat there and wrote them all down, stood back up, told everybody what they had said, and immediately assigned those issues to her staff who was present. So that was impactful. A second time was, thank you, Angela, for including me on her transition team, working directly with Dr. Goldson on the education committee for that transition team. And for numbers of weeks, we met and we sat in a small group, 1-to-1, 5-to-1, whatever. And Dr. Goldson listened and listened and listened. She reiterated her own concerns. Bullying is a huge thing on her table. And fortunately, she and I have had the opportunity to talk about some ideas that I think she's I feel such good hope about what is coming from this woman. Also, I will say that because I'm still active, I know people who are still employed in the system. 2A1 at different levels, they all have nothing but the best to say about Dr. Goldson. I think it's vital that we keep in mind not just what people say, what they do, but how they do it. And I find that she is as transparent and accessible as we could wish for.
Thank you, Ms. Laverra. Dr. Rodney Henderson.
Good evening, Madam County Executive and Board. My name is Rodney Henderson. I've had the awesome joy to educate our children here in Prince George's County for over 25 years. I'm here tonight to express my unreserved support for Dr. Monica Goldson as a permanent county executive for PGC, Prince George's County Public Schools. In my many years of working with and under her leadership, she has always staunchly devoted her life's work to the wonderful children of Prince George's County. Her demonstrated commitment to the community is unparalleled and sorely needed at this critical moment of rebuilding trust within the school system. Simply, she is prepared to lead us in a new era of success. Dr. Goldson's executive experience and skills are extraordinary. She has seen every aspect of Prince George's County work inside out firsthand. And all of this has overwhelmingly equipped her for the complex job of leading our large, multifaceted school system. Numerous times I've seen her tackle tough issues and take the necessary steps to make improvements that in many cases were long overdue, and the district experienced the positive impacts of her tough decisions. Without hesitation, she has taken on a leadership role in challenging times for a district, but all the while remaining honest, open, transparent, and accessible, all of which have become her calling cards. From her teacher roots to her lead role in the district, she has never lost sight of the focus of educating and providing the best experiences for our students. Prince George's County Public School has an opportunity to select the right leader at this pivotal time, one that has the potential to advance the district and implement plans and initiatives and structures that will result in accelerated student achievement for all of our students. I intensely urge you to consider Dr. Monica Goldson to serve a full term as a permanent county executive officer. She's a right person to bestow the honor and continue revitalizing in our school system and build upon the accomplishments that she's already started.
Thank you, Dr. Henderson. I'd like to take this moment to recognize Delegate Alonzo Washington from Legislative District 22. Delegate Washington, thank you for coming. Our next three speakers are Dr. Nicole Crumler-Abubaker, Leland Burton, and Julia Baltimore. If you could please approach the mic.
As they do, I think Dr. Henderson left. I wanted to thank him. 25 years is no short amount of time. So I want to thank you, Dr. Henderson, for your commitment. And thank all of our educators who have taken time out to come tonight and to speak with us. We appreciate it so much. Sue Laverra, I met in her classroom. She didn't say so, but over 20 years ago when I went to volunteer. And she's been involved over all of these years. So thank you so much as well, Sue.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good evening. I come to you this evening representing many faces of Prince George's County. I'm a native Prince Georgian who matriculated through and graduated from Prince George's County Public Schools. I currently work as an elementary principal here in the school district. Moreover, I am a parent of 5 children who currently attend various schools within this school district. So I feel like I have a profound perspective on the importance and criticalness of why we need a dynamic leader in our school system. But what we do not need is a leader that will come into our district and use it as a footstool for their next professional or political agenda, but someone who is vested in the best interest of our students and the community that we serve here at Prince George's County. I believe we have found that person right in our backyard, Dr. Monica Goldson. She is a homegrown powerhouse, a product of this community, a graduate of the school district, and an inspiration to everyone she encounters. In the last 10 months, Dr. Goldson has been impactful to our school district with providing the basic building blocks of high-performing school system. This has been done through initiatives that increase academic achievement and improved grading accountability standards. She has inaugurated the upgrading of school buildings by spearheading the blueprint for Prince George's County Public Schools with the P3 partnership. She has also prioritized safer schools by allocating funding to enhance school safety plans. In addition, there has been a push for compensation, restoration, and an increase in staff salaries. Dr. Golson has relaunched an Adopt a School program which will strengthen community partnerships. Moreover, Dr. Golson's #1 goal has been to be transparent in the community by engaging, listening, and conversing with her community members, employees, and parents in both structured and unstructured settings to hear their needs and create action plans to address them. Dr. Golson has devoted her professional life to Prince George's County Public Schools. She represents us, the hardworking mothers, the dream-filled parents, the motivated teachers, the loyal principals, and the involved community partners. Dr. Golson is a reflection of most everyone that resides in Prince George's County and is a true depiction of how we desire to shape our children. She is grounded and led by her high morals, future-focused, and puts the students of Prince George's County first. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Baltimore.
Good evening. I'm Julia Baltimore of Fort Washington. I'm speaking tonight on behalf of the Lynn Allen Acres and the surrounding communities. We come tonight to cast our lot for Dr. Golson. We have known her to help with communication to citizens, communities. We have known her to be appreciative and make smooth communication with the Board of Education. She communicates well, and she is very skilled. She comes through the ranks of the school in Prince George's County as a student, as a teacher, and as a principal. She knows what's on the inside and knows how to perform. She has the professional skills to do the job. I recommend, and the citizens of the community recommend, that you consider Dr. Golson our next CEO. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Baltimore. Our next three speakers, if you could please approach the microphone, Mr. Rodney Pegram, Ms. Doris Reed, and Mr. Maxwell eBay.
Good evening. I'm Leland Burton.
I'm sorry, Mr. Burton. I apologize.
That's fine, that's fine. Again, I'm Leland Burton. This is Leland Burton II. I, though not here in Prince George's County, I have held every position in a school from custodian to principal. I participated on, thank you. I participated in this process, though not here in the county. And I came here today to talk about the process itself. The good gentlemen from Hazard are going to present a lot of great resumes from some fantastic candidates from across the country. And they're going to be fantastic. And what happens, and what I've seen happen when I went through the process was I saw that some very, very well qualified internal candidates were not given a fair shake. The Bible says that a prophet has no honor in his homeland. We get so used to seeing someone doing their job and doing their job well. That's what we expect of them. But we see a fantastic resume from someone who we don't know. And we think what's new is good, what's new is better. And it's not always so. That being said, I want to speak directly to the selection committee. And as you go through your process, really keep that in mind, that you know what the superintendent cycle is. You know, they come in that first year and they try to familiarize themselves with the system. The good ones do. Before they start making changes, they want to know what's going on. And then the second year, they start a reorganization. And then the third year, they get into that form. That's 3 years. Now, this little guy here is in the kindergarten, and I get a gigantic tax bill every year. And I don't want to wait 3 years. I don't know how that comes across, but that's just how I feel, all right? When I went through the process, I represented a very specific group of people on that panel, but today, I only represent him. This is who I represent. And Dr. Golson, I'm really excited to hear how many people are coming out in support of Dr. Golson, because it makes me feel better about my position on the process and really taking a look at those internal candidates. And Dr. Golson having been in the seat and doing the job, she doesn't have to go through that 3-year curve. She has a bit of a head start. So I wish you all well. I'm sure you all will do a good job. It's going to be a tough job, and whatever you all do, somebody's going to be mad at you.
Thank you, Mr. Burton. So Mr. Rodney Pegram, Ms. Doris Reed, and Mr. Maxwell eBay. So Ms. Doris Reed, our Executive Director of the Association of Supervisory and Administrative School Personnel.
Good evening. Before you start the timer, I'd just like to clarify one thing. When I registered to speak, I was told I would have 3 minutes, but I'll make it in the 2 minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Reed.
Okay. Please. My name is Doris Reed. I have been the Executive Director of ASASP, the union which represents school administrators and supervisors in PGCPS, for 28 years through at least 10 superintendent CEOs. We were totally surprised by this announcement and what is really precipitating this search, especially since the law does not require a search be conducted. Comar 4-201.1 outlines the CEO selection process, which requires in part the county executive shall select the CEO between February 1 and June 1, and the county board shall complete the reappointment on or before June 30th. If the county executive decides to select the incumbent CEO, the county board shall complete the reappointment no later than March 1 of that year. Why was this not done by March 1? Why wait until May to start a search for a person that has to be in place by July 1? We have had 10 months of improvements under Dr. Golson. No constant scandals in the media, little to no labor unrest, no tug of war between the current interim CEO and members of the Board of Education, improved morale among employees, central office reorganization saving $2.4 million, a task force to help restore employee salaries, apprenticeship program, and more. So how can it be that a change in leadership is being sought? What was broken by the previous CEO is now being mended, and yet it seems you're about to break things all over again. It appears this meeting is no more than a solution searching for a problem. We deserve some consistency of leadership, and right now we have that with Dr. Golson. The members of this union are dedicated professionals who are committed to Prince George's County. We are hopeful that the elected leadership of this county values that dedication by listening to their voices. After all, those who lead will need the support and the allegiance of those who follow. That confidence and allegiance has been earned by your current interim CEO, Dr. Monica Golson. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Reed.
So I want to thank you, Ms. Reed, for those comments. I do want to clarify a couple of things. The first thing is that this process is absolutely required by law. We would not have undergone this process if it were not necessary. And then the other thing is the critical distinction is how the word incumbent is defined. And we did take the time to make sure that we discussed this with the county attorneys to make sure that we were on solid footing. But according to the legal definition of incumbent, it cannot be an interim CEO. That is not how incumbent. So that was the critical difference, is that I agree with you that if this person were an incumbent, we could have just reinstated her, but we cannot reinstate a person who is interim. That was the distinction. But thank you so much for your comment.
Mr. Maxwell eBay.
My name is Maxwell Ibe. I'm a grandfather. I raised 10 children, and they are all graduates. What we need is those that will raise up our children in love and righteousness. And if the present CEO is doing well, there's no need for a change. Continuity is a process. If a new CEO comes, he will go into the learning curve. He will start learning, start adjusting, start putting up program. Days are flying. The current executive is doing fine. There is no need for a change. He's a consummate administrator. He grew from the ranks. She knows the ins and outs of the county. He's a mother, a mentor. We should retain her and give her the opportunity. There is no need for a change. Continuity is what we want because she is delivering. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ebag. Our next three speakers are Gordon Libby, Alta Hayes, and Monica Roebuck. If you could please approach the microphones. Gordon Libby, Alta Hayes, and Monica Roebuck. And when you approach the mic, could you please just restate your name, because I noticed some people are coming in different orders, so I just want to make sure I have all the right people. So, Mr. Gordon Libby.
Good evening. My name is Gordon Libby. I have been an educator in Prince George's County Public Schools for 30 years. I've been a principal in the school district for 20 years. I actually will come up here, and I think it's just amazing. First of all, it's amazing. I saw Doris Reed come up here in support of a CEO. That's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I think the second most amazing thing that I've seen this evening, which I've never seen before, is that every speaker has come up here in support of Dr. Golson. And I know why. So I can share a different perspective. I actually hired Dr. Golson as an assistant principal who worked with me at Frederick Douglass High School in the early 2000s. And I was super impressed when I interviewed her. And it didn't take long for me to decide that she was the right person for the position. And I got a chance to work with her for 2 years. And I never saw a more dedicated educator, a more caring educator, someone who, and I normally don't become friends with folks who work with me, but she became my friend. We have some shared history. I'm also a graduate of Potomac High School. And so we have stories that we share. She's a little younger than me. She'd probably say it's a little more than that. But she brings to the table everything that you've heard from these folks, I saw firsthand. Every single day. Wasn't a parent concern that she couldn't address. Wasn't a student issue that she wouldn't take the time to sit down with those young people and find out what their concerns were and figure out a way to fix it. She is a caring educator, and I can say this because someone else mentioned this, so this is absolutely right. I've been here a number of years. I've seen all these different CEOs, superintendents come through. I always wondered, did anybody ever Google these folks before they hired them? You can Google Monica Golson, you're not going to find anything except excellent educator. So I'm here to speak for myself and my high school principal colleagues, and that we support Dr. Monica Golson as the next CEO for Prince George's County Public Schools.
Thank you, Mr. Libby.
Good evening to County Executive Angela Alsobrooks and the Selection Committee. My name is Monica Roebuck. I'm a product of Prince George's County Public Schools and an educator and teacher in the school system for the past 20 years. I'm here to talk about the search for a new CEO and the qualities that we need in the next person who will lead our school system. I believe we need a dynamic leader who has proven fiscal responsibility, someone who can build strong partnerships, who is an instructional leader, committed to school safety and raising teacher salaries. First and foremost, we need a CEO who believes and is committed to paying teachers what they deserve. Prince George's County teachers are 4 years behind on the pay scale, and we need someone who will restore teachers to their correct step. We lose hundreds of teachers every year to neighboring jurisdictions because of teacher pay. If we increase teacher pay, we can retain our teachers and not spend more money hiring and training new and inexperienced teachers. In order to attract the brightest and the best, we have to pay competitive salaries. Next, we need a CEO with character, integrity, strong fiscal management skills to manage a budget of nearly $1 billion. It is critical that we have someone who can manage the resources and make important decisions to ensure that funding is equitably distributed to all of our schools and for teacher salaries, technology, school construction, student materials, and so on and so on. Over the last 20 years, we have had a number of CEOs and those in leadership positions who have mishandled funds, leading to conflict of interest, loss of programs, and other system-wide problems. Mismanagement of funds hurts our school system and students in the long run. We need an instructional leader who will raise student achievement and is committed to lowering class sizes. Prince George's County ranks near the bottom each year in the state of Maryland. We need a CEO that has a plan in place to raise the graduation rates and proficiency level of every student, especially our special needs and low-income students. We have to make sure our students are ready upon graduation for college and career. Lastly, student discipline and classroom disruptions continue to plague our school system. School safety must be our top priority. Fighting, weapons, and drugs have no place in a school. Also, in a recent report released by the NAACP, it revealed that Prince George's County suspends and expels students at a higher rate than any other county in Maryland. We must stabilize the classroom, and we must end the school-to-prison pipeline. We desperately need system-wide intervention practices such as restorative justices implemented in all the schools. In closing, a quality school system benefits everyone. First and foremost, students need it and parents deserve a quality school system where their children can learn. My plea is that we hire a CEO who can raise the standards in Prince George's County, an instructional leader who is respected, financially responsible, committed to safety of every student, and increase teachers' salaries. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Roebuck. And again, I want to remind everyone, if you were not here when I made this announcement earlier, HYA, our search firm, will be conducting a survey that we will have online on both the county executive's webpage as well as the Prince George's County Public Schools webpage. We hope to have the link to that survey posted no later than Friday, so we ask that you continue to stay alert and check those websites for that link. Our next three speakers is Ms. Corrine Brody, Ms. Regina Robinson, and Ms. Michaela Brent. If you could please approach the microphone. Ms. Corrine Brody, Ms. Regina Robinson, and Ms. Michaela Brent. And again, please announce yourself when you step to the microphone. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to read really quickly because I'm determined to beat this bell. Good evening, Honorable County Executive Alsobrooks, esteemed members of the Selection Committee, and distinguished representatives of the HYA search firm. My name is Corrine Brody, and I'm the Regional Director of the Hillside Work Scholarship Connection. From our initiatives launched 32 years ago as the Wegmans Work Scholarship Connection to the entrusted Hillside Work Scholarship Connection of today, the mission of our work has really been centered on supporting middle and high school students around graduation, college, and career. We've been a proud partner here in Prince George's County for the last 10 years, and when I think about the foundational tenets of our experiences, I reflect on the importance of clear expectations at all levels, transparency, accountability, and especially now, leadership continuity. Dr. Golson currently represents the 5th CEO, or former superintendent, of Prince George's County Public Schools since our 2008 launch. As I'm sure you are aware, such frequent change of leadership, particularly in the second largest education system in Maryland, 18th nationally, leaves little time for our staff, our students, and our families, some of which are here tonight, to adjust to new leadership, adopt to their educational vision, and work together towards common goals in student development and achievement. In just the short time that Dr. Golson has served as interim CEO, she's responded to the call for increased transparency and accountability, and this is evident in the proactive and often frequent communications from the school system, which balance a conveyance of both positive news, in which we can all celebrate, as well as transparently those areas that need further improvement. Having also served with Dr. Golson on the nonprofit Prince George's County Governing Board, I appreciate the manner in which she engages with and informs the community on her advocacy in everything from school facilities improvement to adopting schools for partnerships and other such important issues which impact student achievement. I found Dr. Golson's longevity of service in the system through various roles from local school leadership to senior administration, leveraged in her thorough knowledge of intricate systemic ebbs and flows, which often best support strategies and solutions. So it is for these reasons that I am a strong advocate of Dr. Golson, and I'll just leave with a quote. "A river cuts through a rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. I strongly believe that Dr. Golson's persistence, dedication, and achievement is why we should select her as a permanent CEO." Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brody. Ms. Regina Robinson. We're having some technical difficulties on the mic on the right side.
It's on now. Good evening, I'm Regina Robinson. I am a proud parent of a high school junior at Dr. Henry A. Wise High School, and she has been attending Prince George's County Public Schools since she was in elementary school. I am a former PTA president. I am also a proud business owner of Prince George's County who advocates and assists with high schools throughout the county and speaking and educating parents on getting prepared for high school and going off to college. And so my concern is that we do a lot of talking about college and career ready in Prince George's County, but what we misunderstand is that it's not about hanging a pendant on the wall, and it's not about teachers wearing a paraphernalia representing their schools, but our kids really and our parents must be educated about not going into debt to send their children off to college for 4 years. And some of our children are not ready for college, but in fact are ready for trade schools, and we must be prepared to educate them. One of the things that I know is I'm a former educator in Prince George's County Public School. I was a teacher under the leadership of Dr. Monica Golson, and it was amazing 2 years with working with her at Frederick Douglass High School and Dr. Henry A. Wise Junior High School. She is a leader that is one that does not close her door, but that stands tall so that everyone can see her, not just the teachers and the staff, but the students. And she's a model that the students can look at as someone that they can benefit from and learn from. She was always willing to make sure her door was open, unlike a lot of people who you can't even touch. She was there to answer questions, be there for the parents, be there for the students, and most importantly for those who are under her leadership as educators. She has been running this county for years, since the day they took her from Dr. Henry A. Wise High School. She has humbly been doing it behind closed doors without trying to take accolades while everyone else was benefiting off of her initiatives that were put forward. And now we're just giving her a small snippet of time to show what she's willing to do in public when she's been doing it in private for so many years. It's an opportunity for us to let her stand in the gaps and not bring someone from the outside who has no idea and are not vested in our children, not vested in our county, but they are coming here just so that they can embellish their resume and say that I worked in an urban school district. She has a vested interest here in Prince George's County, and she deserves the position.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. Ms. Michaela Brent.
Good evening. My name is Michaela Brent, and in a few days, I'll be an alumni of an Academy of Health Sciences at Prince George's Community College. The vision of our school was planted by our principal, Dr. Andrews. After many hours of hard work, she presented her vision to Dr. Monica Golson. Through hard work, dedication, and full support of Dr. Andrews' vision, Dr. Golson not only made a pathway for the vision to be seen, but allowed our school to be born on July 2011, with the enrollment of 100 of PGCPS top students. High criteria and standards were set by Dr. Golson. School districts from other states have come to our school to duplicate our curriculum and educational model. Other high schools in PGCPS are now offering dual enrollment programs. Dr. Golson continues to set the bar higher each year, and with her full support, our school is flourishing. My class will be the 5th graduating class on May 23rd, 2019. And I am proud to inform you that the data speaks for itself. Every year since we have been open, we have had 100% of our students receive their high school diploma. 100% of our students have received 50 or more college credits from Prince George's Community College while obtaining their high school diplomas. And 98% of our students have received their Associate of Arts degree through our 2 career paths, the Associate of Arts degree in General Studies or Teaching. Since our school opened, my class is one of the top classes that have received $12.6 million in scholarships, in which $2.7 million was awarded since our April class meeting. Dr. Golson continues to make herself available for the PGCPS staff and does not mind standing on the front line for change. Dr. Golson continues to set the bar high not only for my school, but all the schools in Prince George's County because of her willingness to step out on faith, be on the front line, and ensure that all students in PGCPS receive a quality education, that our teachers and employees are supported. The Academy of Health Sciences at PGCC support the decision that Dr. Monica Golson become Prince George's County Public Schools' next CEO. Thank you.
Our next three speakers are Mr. Marcus Davis, Ms. Ikena, and I apologize again, Ikena Udejafor, and Fallon Smalls. If you could please approach the mic. Marcus Davis, Ikena Udejafor, and Fallon Smalls.
Good evening. My name is Marcus Davis, and I am an employee at Surrattsville High School. I am a parent of a son that goes to Akakita Academy, and I graduated from Suitland High School, Visual Performing Arts. My parents have been a residents in Prince George's County since 1976. And like Monica Golson, I'm nervous. I am PGC proud also. Monica Golson. We can save some time, we can save some finances, we can save some meetings, some headaches, and we can eradicate unnecessary conversations by simply moving forward and making Monica Golson our permanent CEO of Prince George's County. She's an outstanding product of our school system. She's our model. She's our franchise player, one who exemplifies, who embodies, and personifies all that we desire for our students to become. Dr. Golson, without question, possesses the qualities of what any leader should have. And as one of my former principals would say, you have to be, his name is Bill Barnes, you will have to say that she needs to be consistent, firm, and fair. Dr. Golson is committed to our children and to our county. In the midst of all of the issues that plague our system, whether it's personnel, payroll, etc., the children are always the priority. In the majority of her speeches and interviews, you can hear time after time her talking about the children. She is dedicated to the cause, educating our children to be able to compete and excel in our global society. This county is responsible for producing someone as highly qualified as Monica Golson. Dr. Golson has served on many different levels, ranging from teacher to interim chief executive officer. We all know her bio, and if you don't, look it up online. And it clearly outlines her progress and promotion for her to be CEO. So let's go ahead and let's further this and let's drop the gavel and let's say that she is the Chief Executive Officer of Prince George's County.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Hi, my name is Fallon Smalls, and I have had the unique honor through PG County from grades K through 12. After graduating Frederick Douglass High School, where Dr. Golson served as my principal, I attended Howard University, but I never strayed far away from PG County. I am still a resident of this county. My husband and I have chosen to raise our children here, and this county will always be my home. There are certain things about my county that people who are not from here just won't understand. There's a distinct sense of pride that PG County residents possess about our gorgeous Prince George's. And that is why it was important for us to elect one of our own, Angela Alsobrooks, as the county executive. And that is also why it should be just as important for us to make sure that the person leading the charge of educating our children in the hands of someone who knows PG County inside and out and is invested in education. Monica Golson has spent her entire career with PGCPS. Under her leadership as interim CEO, I have seen a growth in transparency, a sense of faith and leadership that I have never seen before. She has put her all into making sure that we as residents, parents, and guardians of PGCPS students know that when we put our children on the bus, they are safe, protected, and receiving the best education that PG County has to offer. For that reason, I think it's important for us to make sure that when we are considering appointing a CEO, that we remember why Dr. Golson was chosen unanimously by a board of her peers. I believe that as one of our own, she has our best interest at heart, and I trust her to continue leading PGCPS into being one of the best school systems that Maryland has to offer. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Smalls. Our next three speakers, Dr. Makia Cadet, Michael Dixon, and Donnie Joyner. Dr. Makia Cadet, Michael Dixon, Donnie Joyner. Yeah. And then after those three will be Mark Johnson, Sam Cisse, and Rachel West. So again, if you can all make your way to the front. We have Dr. Makia Cadet. Dr. Cadet?
Yes.
You can go ahead and start.
Good evening. Let me start this off by saying I've never met Dr. Golson, but as an employee in the district, as a CEO of my own company, as a person who decided to go back into the school system, I wanted to share my research, my national research on Black women and the female Black women in urban school districts and superintendents. National school district superintendent tenure lasts an estimated 5 to 7 years. Urban superintendent tenure is a staggering 3 years. Maintaining district climate and achievement standards remains difficult when inconsistent leadership and incongruent educational practices result from superintendent turnover. So I conducted a hermeneutic phenomenological study using a strengths-based approach to see why do these Black women do so well and are so underrated. My research study yielded several themes of tenured Black women in the superintendency, and surprisingly, Dr. Golson has shown so many only in her first year as a superintendent. One of the themes is that there's a double standard that's existed against African American females in the superintendency. Research has revealed that men are often hired based on their potential, while Black women in executive leadership have to be hired based on existing accomplishments with more credentialing than their peers. Dr. Golson's actions toward building a transparent district collaborative state, community, and business constituency has provided an authentic chance at a positive change. The second theme, they exude integrity and responsibility. Dr. Golson commits to a greater responsibility of community uplift. She does not turn a blind eye to opportunity gaps, inequities, inequalities, and blatant access oversights in urban districts. The third theme was overcoming urban school board and superintendent tension. Interestingly enough, and I appreciate people for not saying it, but I'm going to say it, the previous superintendent had a very tumultuous relationship with the board. And Dr. Golson institutes the 4 superintendent board relation transformative actions. She emphasizes reciprocity and mutual respect, board relationships. She maintains professionalism. She clearly defines her role and the board roles, and she validates the opinions of others. She works smarter by being organized and strategically planned, and transforming Prince George's County Public Schools would require strategy, commitment, collectiveness, and greatest of all, time. In closing, Dr. Golson is breaking through concrete ceilings and providing insightful expertise to inform the American Education Superintendency. Her internal strength, commitment to excellence, and personal resilience affects thousands of lives every day. She relentlessly commits to personal integrity and unmatched professionalism that is not held true or high for her white male counterparts. Regardless of the district's historical and political oppression, she is on her way to outperforming those counterparts through a meticulous work ethic that leads not only to district longevity, but also career longevity, respect from her peers, and adoration from national organizations like AASA. Dr. Golson can lead without regrets because of the enduring transformative work and focus on teaching and learning for all. Failure to allow her the opportunity and time to do the necessary work speaks less about her capacity and more about the district and state's intentions towards children and educators of color in Prince George's County Public Schools. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Mr. Michael Dixon.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Les Dixon. I am a lifelong county resident, associate pastor at Solid Rock Church in Riverdale, Maryland, where we have relationships with a number of schools in the area. And through those relationships, I've become, even though I do not have any children at the school, the president of the Parkdale Panthers PTSA. Thank you. County Executive Alsobrooks, last summer or early fall, I met you at a town hall meeting at William Wirt. And I think I was the first one to see you. And when you came in, I asked you, why should I vote for you? I can't remember everything you said at that time, because my real point was, what were you going to do about our school system? What were you going to do about our board, because of the acrimony between it? And I do not even remember the words you said at the time, but you gave me an assurance that you would handle it. And I would first like to thank you for handling it with the people that you've appointed to the board, because it's definitely changed the culture of the board. And as a resident, I just want to thank you. I would also like to go on record that I think we shouldn't have a CEO, we should have a superintendent. But I think that person should have these characteristics. They should be committed to children and experienced in education. They should have a leadership style that facilitates harmony with the elected school board members and the appointees. It should be a person who sees the benefit of parent input and involvement, as well as community partnerships. Someone who knows, appreciates, and understands our community and loves someone who knows, appreciates, understands our community and loves our community. And who will be innovative in helping us overcome the challenges of school overcrowding, teacher pay, and educational outcomes for all of our students. Someone committed to transparency, accountability, and integrity, and someone who can hit the ground running. While I respect the process, I too believe that Dr. Monica Golson has each of these characteristics, and more that others have chronicled, and she has delivered on your assurance to me at William Wirt Middle School, so thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Again, I want to remind each of our speakers that you have 2 minutes to speak, and we ask that you respect the time of the people who are here waiting to speak. If we go over for every speaker, then we're going to run later and later. So we do ask that you respect the nice little chime from the timer. We will give you a few seconds to wrap up your last sentence or your last thought, but we do want to be respectful of everyone that's here for this hearing. Next, we have Mr. Donnie Joyner.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. First and foremost, I would like to say that I'm first and foremost, I've been a PG County resident for over 9 years, and I'm also serving as a global career development facilitator and a workforce career coach. Whether it's Dr. Golson or the candidate that you all choose, these are some of the attributes and characteristics that I would like the candidate to have. First and foremost, the candidate should be invested not only in the schools, but also invested in the community to help nurture the next generation of dreams. The second thing is the knowledge of the workforce, because everyone won't fit the mold or the narrative of go to school, go to college, and get a good job. The third thing is a CEO who understands that the psychological transition of students transitioning from high school, going into college, it can be a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety. So that person must not only empower the students to create a choice whether they want to go to school, go to the military, go to a trade school, learn how to code, or even start a business. But most of all, by God's grace, someone that serves the next generation of leaders with humility, purpose, and grace. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Mr. Mark Johnson, Sr.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Anthony Johnson, Sr. I've been a resident of Prince George's County since 1965. That's over 50 years. I'm a local county-based certified business and an honorable veteran in our military. We all have a story. I think it is important that a parent, teacher, and student should have a great ongoing relationship that helps develop our students. I invited my last 2 children, my 6th and 7th born, and my dad to this discussion. Both children currently attend Prince George's County Public Schools. One has 3 years before they reach 12th grade, and my other child has 4 years before they reach the 12th grade. It is my intent to see if their fellow alumni could make history in this school system through my parental support, as my county executive made history as the first woman county executive of Prince George's County. Thank you. What I wish to see in a CEO is, as for my last 2 children, I want to see if they can benefit from the career and college readiness by the end of their 10th grade year, so that they can benefit from the robust CTE in early college for 11th, 12th grade year. Can you let me know if it is too late in their career? If so, why? If they are facing challenges, is the Advancement VIA Individual Determination Program designed to help students develop the skills they need to be successful in the college and beyond while serving in their high school experience? I think Dr. Goldston can carry my interests out. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker, we have, just make sure again you approach the microphone, Mr. Sam Ceesay, Rachel West, Tom Duke, Jonathan Boulder, and Nicole Nichols, in that order. So Mr. Sam Ceesay, you here? Mr. Ceesay.
I'll keep this short and sweet. Good evening, everyone. I am Sam Ceesay, Prince George's County resident, a product of Prince George's County Public Schools, and also a founder and president of Game Plan, Inc., a strategic partner for Prince George's County Public Schools. I am in support of Dr. Goldston becoming the permanent CEO of PGCPS because she is from Prince George's County. She's a product of PGCPS. She's held multiple roles within PGCPS, from teacher all the way to interim CEO of PGCPS. This is what makes her the best candidate for this role. That's her secret sauce. She knows this position better than anyone, and I think that she would be the best candidate for this position. I can't think of anyone more perfect for this role, so please consider Dr. Monica Goldston for permanent CEO of Prince George's County Public Schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Rachel West.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm a little nervous, so sorry. My name is Rachel West. I live in the Fairwood community in Bowie, and I've been a resident of Prince George's County my entire life. This is my son, Marcus. Hi, Marcus. He is 4 years old, and he has a disability called childhood apraxia of speech, which is a motor speech disorder. He is unable to articulate clearly, and it's hard for him to make proper sounds to form words to communicate. He knows what he wants to say, but he has a hard time saying it out loud. 1 of 2 children out of 1,000 are diagnosed with apraxia. This is a disorder more prevalent in boys than girls. So I wrote a really long, because I thought we would have decent time, but I wrote a really long, detailed speech that I wanted to share with you all. But long story short, we've been working with the PG County Infant and Toddler Program since he was about 3.5 years old, just to help him with his speech. The resources that we have in Prince George's County in terms of children that have disabilities, be it mild or severe, they're limited. So I'm standing here for my son because I'm his voice right now, because he can't speak the way he needs to speak. I'm sorry, I get very emotional about this, and we just need more resources. We need more schools that focus on children with disabilities in our county. We need more funding. Like, my question to you all is, where's the money from the casinos that you all said the county schools would get funding from? Where is that money? He needs the help. The help that I have to get for him is outside of Prince George's County. I have, we take him to Howard County to an organization that is helping him. And then I found another speech pathologist who's in Crofton, and that's Anne Arundel County. I shouldn't have to go outside of my county to get help for my son. So in the search of a CEO, I need someone who is going to be an advocate for children with disabilities and stand for them, not just the parents who have to fight and try to find the resources like my husband and I have had to. We have 3 children. Out of the 3 children, he's the one that God uniquely designed differently. And I'm going to do everything I can and advocate for him to get the help that he needs. Now, everyone's talking about Dr. Goldstein. I don't know her. I don't know her. I'm just sitting here as a parent, as a resident of the county, and I'm listening to all the things that people are saying. I would love to sit down and have a conversation with her, with any of you all sitting up there, about the challenges that my husband and I have faced in trying to get him the help that he needs for his speech delay.
Ms. West?
Yes.
So one, I want to tell you that I invite you to please leave your comments
Yes,
with
I
us
will.
since you weren't able to get through that. And the
I
county
want
executive
to
wanted to
thank
say
you,
something.
Ms. West, and thank you for bringing Marcus with you as well. And what we're going to do is make sure we not only get your comments, but I would like for you to leave with us, please, your contact information, and I'll have someone give you a call tomorrow, okay, so that we can talk further with you. I want to just address a couple of things you said, is to tell you that we love all of our kids in this school system, and I can tell you also, and so that we will make sure that we work with you and work with your family to make sure that Marcus gets what he needs. And as far as all of our kids with disabilities, I want you to know we love every single one of them. Prince George's County educates the largest number of disabled students in the state of Maryland. And so we have a very unique population of students. You did ask about funding, and so I want to just tell you a couple of things. We worked very diligently. A number of our delegates and senators were here tonight, Senator Benson, and we went to Annapolis in January, and Dr. Golson went with us, and I can tell you that we were very aggressive in asking for the money that we deserve for this school system in Prince George's County, because you asked about the casino. I want to be honest with you. MGM, many of you in this room voted against really your wishes, because this is a very spiritual community. People here were not in favor of gambling, but they voted for that casino because they were told that it was going to help with education funding. Correct. And I want you to understand that the funding that comes from MGM, first of all, leads all of the casinos in the state of Maryland. The largest share of dollars that go to the Education Trust Fund in the state of Maryland comes from MGM. MGM generates somewhere between $60 million per month. And so we have gone to Annapolis to say we want every penny that we deserve to come back to Prince George's County for our school system. Now, we haven't been alone. I saw Teresa Dudley here and all the others, and I can assure you that we are making the case in Annapolis. We want every penny that we deserve to come back to Prince George's County for our schools. Now, this past legislative session, we came back with an additional $53 million from something called Kerwin dollars. I want you to keep your eye out for Kerwin next year because Kerwin is the formula, it's education formula, funding formula. And it takes into account some of the things you mentioned, the number of disabled students we have here. Prince George's educates the largest number of students who speak English as a second language, and 62% of our kids are on free and reduced lunch. So we deserve the lion's share of the dollars that come for education, and we're going to make sure that we get, again, every penny we can to come back here to Prince George's County. So we're going to stay in contact with you. Can you please give your information? I'd like somebody to please get her. So Glenda, thank you so much. Glenda and Antoinette are going to get your information. We'll give you a call, and we'll make sure that we get Marcus exactly what he needs, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Mr. Tom Duke.
Good evening, and thank you for your hard work. My name is Tom Duke. I'm an ESOL teacher in Prince George's County since 2007, and I wish that you, when you look for a candidate, you look for somebody of impeccable character, somebody who chooses children and teachers in classrooms over anything else in the bureaucracy. Anything else in education, it's teachers in classrooms where education starts, and frankly, it doesn't end until they go home on the bus. Somebody brave enough and secure enough to be right-sized the bureaucracy, an incredible problem. You have someone who can deal very quickly with 309 more non-school-based positions in Prince George's County Public Schools than in Montgomery County. 309 more non-school-based positions, yet we teach 28,000 fewer students. We teach fewer students, yet we have more non-school-based positions than Montgomery County. Somebody impatient with a sense of urgency, like that mother. Somebody who can repair and restore the relations with 6,000 teachers who suffered a loyalty penalty over the recession years and are now up to 4 steps behind. Somebody who can collaborate respectfully with teachers. And somebody with ESOL experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Duke. Our next series of speakers are Jonathan Bolden, Nicole Nichols, Nicole McClure, and Tanya Wingfield. If you could please approach the mic. Mr. Jonathan Bolden, Nicole Nichols, Nicole McClure, and Tanya Wingfield. Proceed.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to share a few comments for the CEO search for Prince George's County Public Schools. My name is Jonathan Bolden. I serve as the president of RSC Electrical Mechanical Contractors, HVAC contractor, and a graduate of vocational school here in Prince George's County Public Schools. Today, I would like to express my sincere support for the interim CEO, Monica Golson. Since she's taken the helm and the leadership of the school system, the system has been steady and balanced. It is my hope that the search committee move forward to Dr. Monica Golson for a few reasons. One, she's local, home leader, has committed her entire career to Prince George's County Public Schools, and she also has her own children enrolled in Prince George's County Public Schools. In sum, myself, two daughters who attended Prince George's County Public Schools now have moved on to college. I've supported the school system. I've worked in the school system. And right now, under the leadership of Dr. Monica Golson, the school system is moving in the correct direction. So, as president of RSC, that the company has been around since 1989, I can assure you that from the business community, we're behind Dr. Golson all the way. Confirm her now and promptly in the search for the CEO. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Nicole Nichols.
Good evening. My name is Nicole Nicholas, and I am the founder and executive director of a local nonprofit called College and Career Pathways, or CCP. We provide academic support, college readiness, and career exploration and development services to students in grades 9 through 16 in Prince George's County. I'm here to provide the perspective of nonprofit organizations in the county. For the past 10 years, CCP has partnered with Prince George's County Prince George's County Public Schools to provide these services to some of the county's most vulnerable students, to ensure that they are prepared to access post-secondary programs, whether that be a four-year college or university, community college, or vocational programs after they graduate from high school. And I'm here today because of the tremendous support that Prince George's County Community Schools Administration and Dr. Goldston have shown to CCP and organizations like ours who seek to collaborate with the district to ensure that our students find success after high school, within and after high school. I want to specifically express my gratitude to Dr. Goldston for being so intentional in her efforts to make college readiness and career development a key focus of our administration, and to foster community partnerships with local agencies and organizations to ensure that our students graduate ready to face the world outside of high school. Ultimately, I have been impressed and encouraged by the significant investments that Dr. Goldston has made and plans to make in our students, because they're what this is all about. They're why we're all here. And Dr. Goldston is clear that she prioritizes students and families and teachers in Prince George's County, and we're grateful for that. So I personally, as a nonprofit organization in this county, look forward to a continued and growing partnership with Prince George's County Schools, and I highly recommend Dr. Goldston for the position of CEO. Thank you.
Perfect timing. Thank you. We have Ms. Nicole McClure.
Good evening. My name is Nicole McClure, and I am the proud principal of High Point High School. Thank you. It gives me great honor to endorse Dr. Golson. On behalf of the entire high school community, it is no secret that we have experienced many challenges over the past few years. However, her support as we move towards restoring faith in our grading policies and procedures, and most importantly, the value in our Maryland State Certificate. So it is our ultimate goal that we are able to provide each child with a college and career ready focus and academic success and performance as we move into the next century. We need Dr. Golson, and we need your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speakers, we have Tanya Wingfield, Monique Scott Hurd, Chika Bird, Pamela Smith, and Dr. Stella Agabua. Again, we have Tanya Wingfield, Monique Scott Hurd, Chika Bird, Pamela Smith, and Dr. Stella Agabua. Please approach the microphone. And please remember to repeat your name when you step to the microphone, please. You're all by yourself. Go ahead. You got the mic.
My name is Monique Scott Hurd, and I am a 27-year veteran educator, curriculum writer, assessment writer, blah, blah, blah. So I have worked all over the world. So I'm speaking in terms of administrators that I've experienced in Ghana, Abu Dhabi, the Middle East, other countries in Africa, and she's the best. Dr. Golson, Monica, who she lets you just call her Monica, so that tells you how humble she is. She's just the best. I was going through deleting stuff as people were saying the same thing I'm saying, so that didn't leave me with much, other than she's more than just a manager, she's also a leader. When I worked under her at Dr. Henry A. Wise High School, we opened up the school together. She was all about accountability. She made sure the students were accountable for their actions, that parents were accountable for their students, that teachers were accountable for what they needed to do. She backed you up, but then once the parent left, she was on you and she made sure that you knew what you needed to do, and then she provided the training that struggling teachers needed. So she's not just about, I don't know what the best way is. She's just not there. She's present. She would be there to watch students come in during the day. She would build capacity among administrators. I can't think of any reason not to. So I have a question real quick though. So the law says you have to post a job and hold the search, right? Does it say how many people you have to interview? Is there a minimum?
Is there a minimum? I don't think so, no.
So we can interview one person, right? I'm just asking.
Well, what they say is that we have to engage a search firm, and that the governor selects the 3 individuals who will receive the names from the search committee and forward those names to me. That they will interview the selectees from the search firm, and then they will select 3 and then send those 3 names to the county executive, and the county executive has to pick among the 3.
Okay, so you got this. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, I just want to make sure Ms. Chika Bird, Ms. Pamela Smith, Dr. Stella Aguba, excuse me. Okay, we're going to keep going. Mr. Joe Murchison, Simon Steele, Quanda Rogers, Tamika Arthur, and William and Tamika Page. If you could please approach the microphone. And again, please repeat your name once you speak. Sir. Yes, sir.
Joe Murchison. I'm executive director of a nonprofit that works with the Prince George's schools side by side. And I just want to join the love fest. Dr. Golson is incredible. I was here last fall and she was having a listening session and people beat her about the head for 2 hours and she just sat up there graciously listening, taking notes. She repeated everything at the end. And by the next morning, I had an email in my inbox on what I had talked to her about from one of her staff people. She said she went home, she either responded directly or through her staff. And then the way she handled the graduation issue, it was dropped in her lap when she started. She didn't deny, she didn't stonewall. She just took the audit recommendation, she implemented them. The State Board of Education was extremely impressed with the way she handled that and the results. And so she's a keeper. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Murchison. Simon Steele. Do we have Quanda Rogers, Tamika Arthur, William and Tamika Page. You step to the mic. Thank you.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is BJ Page. This is my wonderful wife, Tamika Page. She's probably going to hide from the mic, so I'll just let her stand here as my boss. Madam County Executive, thank you for allowing all this to take place. We really appreciate you. I just want to start off with a few things. Sometimes you got to think about PG and proud. So myself, my wife, and both of my kids are Prince George's County Public School products. So I just want to say it takes somebody like that to understand Prince George's County. I wear a lot of hats, and a lot of them are community-based. Not so much of an educator, but I speak life into the youth that's part of the system of Prince George's County Public Schools. Not like most of you, I'll be honest. Myself and Dr. Golson don't have the best relationship. I know everybody looked like it was crazy. But sometimes you got to think that even if you can sit your relationship to the side, you have to have the best person as your leader. She is that best person. I'm the only person that spoke in this entire forum that's not, quote unquote, her buddy. But I wouldn't want a better person to be in her seat. I wouldn't want a better leader than Dr. Golson. Coming out of Frederick Douglass High School, she was in Frederick Douglass High School, and I caused a lot of trouble. But she's a great, fearless leader. She understands what the right thing to do at the right time. And it takes somebody like that to take that seat. Another thing I want to say, I'm proud of military, like Brigadier General. Sometimes you think about when you go to base, right? Each base you go to, that leader has to ask all the people at the base, who do I go to? What do I need to do? Who's the point of contact? Who's the best person? In special ops, which is my background, it takes 5 years to build that relationship. That's 5 years of money being wasted, kids growing up in the school system. Dr. Golson already has that. The relationships that you need in the community, such as great programs like Hillside Work Scholarship Connect, those are the type of relationships that she already has and she supports. So in closing, remember that as a person who's not her buddy, I'll stand here and say proudly, she is the best person for that seat. So thank you for your time and have a great day.
Thank you. So our next series of speakers, we have Kimberly Better, Charles Coleman, Pamela Little, Alante Elliott, and Dorothy Simmons. Again, Kimberly Better, Charles Coleman, Pamela Little, Alante Elliott, and Dorothy Simmons. If you can all please approach the microphone. And as you approach, please announce yourself.
Good evening. My name is Dorothy Simmons, and I want to start out tonight by saying I don't feel like I'm represented at the table. I'm a parent of a 9th grader that attends a charter school, a Prince George's County public charter school. And recently I've been having to call the county for different situations and things, and I'm constantly being told, you're not a traditional public school, you're a charter school. You have different rules, you have different regulations, but nobody can tell us where to go to get that information. I reach out to Dr. Golson. Dr. Golson was able to give me some support in that aspect, and she has confirmed to me that we have no checks and balances in place for the Prince George's County public chartered schools. And she has confirmed to me also that she is definitely taking it on as a task, because the prior administration has literally given the public charter schools blank checks, because all of these schools are ran by foundations. So today I come to you asking you to give us the support that we need by giving us the leadership that we need in this county. The previous administrations were not the leadership that looked at the county as a whole. I've heard tonight a lot of people praising the public schools here, but there are a group of schools that do not get the support that the other public schools get, and that's the public charter schools here in Prince George's County. And Dr. Golson is the candidate, and she has promised to help us mend these differences. So we ask you to please consider her for the position.
Thank you. Ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Pam Little. I want to thank County Exec Alsobrooks and the committee for doing what's law, what's legal. I am a licensed clinical professional counselor here in the county. I work with a lot of our families in the elementary, middle, and high school. And I'm here to offer whatever support I can to Golson, Dr. Golson, on behalf of the disruptive behaviors that I've heard several speakers come up and talk about. I know, I don't know her personally, but a lot of the families that I serve talk about how she's, doing a great job in the school system and things like that. But I'm here to help her, want to see how I'll be able to help her, or what is her commitment, what would be her commitment to helping the teachers learn how to handle the disruptive behavior, the social emotional skills of our students. A lot of the kids that have these behavior issues, I heard the the attorneys talk about these kids in their office every day. And I work with those kids. I've been in private practice since 2011. I'm an art therapist and a play therapist. I'm registered. I got all the credentials to work with these students and these kids, but I want to be able to not come with a problem, but a solution to helping her get her job done when she is elected or selected as the CEO of this county. I've been here since 1978, and I was under the pastoral care of these illustrious pastors here, the #1 in the world, Pastor Joanne and Granger Browning. So I know the quality that Dr. Golson has, but the mentorship under these pastors here. And so I just wanted to say that, I'm here as a mental health person to help her or whoever the county, well, I say Dr. Golson, in combating this situation to help our teachers. And I would like to, one of the things I would like for them to look at is what would be her priority and commitment in doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Little. Next series of speakers, Dr. Johnny Cruz Craig, Delvin Champagne, Robert Pettis, Felix Lazaro, Joe Fisher, Kiana Johnson. Dr. Johnny Cruz Craig, Delvin Champagne, Robert Pettis, Felix Lazaro, Joe Fisher, Kiana Johnson. Approach the mic.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Johnny Cruz Craig, and unlike many people sitting here, I'm new to Prince George County. I think I've been here since 2015 as a resident. I'm a 23-year educator across a couple states, and I actually do national work now with educators doing professional development and advocacy work. I stand here in support of Dr. Monica Golson, and would just like to share 7 things that I know are needed in the characteristics of a CEO, superintendent of a school district, especially an urban school district. Number 1, Dr. Golson is a servant leader who leads knowing that education is a heart matter. She is authentic and transparent. Dr. Golson understands and journeys forth with this foundational principle. She knows that this is not for the faint at heart. This principle will provide a place for grounding, refreshing, revitalizing when challenges are prevalent and mounting. Whereas serving in this role for any other reason can be detrimental to all, especially to students and student achievement, and affects the society and the people in Prince George County. Dr. Golson is a visionary leader with a multiple-year vision grounded in relationships across the county. What she has done as an interim is a great springboard to continue manifesting the vision while leading impactful change. Dr. Golson is a leader familiar with the community, committed to the community, can relate to the community, and equipped to effectively and efficiently communicate with the diverse communities within the community. Dr. Golson is attuned to the day-to-day operations of the teacher in the classroom and the leader in the building, enabling her to make executive decisions with those perspectives always at the table. Dr. Golson is aware of the need to continue enhancing knowledge about shifting perspectives and mindset around culturally relevant teaching, implicit and explicit biases that lead to stereotype threats, teaching the whole child, adverse childhood experiences, mental health and trauma, social emotional learning, and trauma-informed classrooms, as well as restorative justices. Dr. Golson is willing to be an innovative disruptor when that is necessary and needed for increased student achievement. And lastly, and again, most importantly, she knows that education is a heart matter.
Thank you. Mr. Delvin Champagne.
How you doing? My name is Delvin Champagne. I'm a teacher, I'm a parent, and I'm an occupational therapist working with kids with IEP diagnoses. Thank you for coming to District 47, Angela Alsobrooks at Cooper Lane. I wanted to just speak about my son's school. My son is a student at Door Kennedy French Immersion, and we was hoped that the next CEO would try to expand the immersion programs, because we were trying, some of the schools from the Spanish immersion and the French immersion school were trying to expand into a full immersion high school. We're hoping that that was something that we could look at. And also, I wanted to say that the one person who talked about the charter schools, it's also important that we look at recently the U.S. report just released the study or the outcome of the nationwide best high schools, and only one of 4 Prince George's County Public School high schools was a charter school, which is called CMIT, Math and Technology High School. So we could also do more about the oversight and compliance of charter schools, but we should see how we can give parents more educational options, because Prince George's County Public Schools have 31 high schools, but only 4 were in the top 100 high schools of the state. And one of those high schools was a charter school, which is CMIT, which is one of the highly ranked charter schools in the state of Maryland. So that's all I want to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Robert Pettis.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Robert Pettis. I'm the past PTSA president for Largo High School, 2002 to 2005. And today I'm currently its treasurer. My son, I'm also the girls' high school, girls basketball coach, assistant. My son graduated from Largo High School in 2006. The jewel of my life, my granddaughter is a 3rd grader at Heather Hills Elementary School. God willing, I'll be able to coach her. I just want to say that I believe Dr. Goldson is the future for our children. I believe her service and knowledge is unmatched and her dedication unparalleled. When Dr. Goldson took helm of the system, she came out like a gangbuster. She had a plan, and for what I've seen, I love it. In my field, we call an expert somebody from out of town. It would be a shame to allow Dr. Goldson's expertise serve another community. So I would like to say, Dr. Monica Goldson.
Thank you.
Dr. Monica Goldson. One time, Dr. Monica Goldson. I'm gonna use all my 2 minutes. Dr. Monica Goldson. Dr. Monica Goldson. Like, that Jedi mind trick, I don't know. All right, thank you. Good night.
Thank you. We have Mr. Felix Lazaro, Joe Fisher, Kiana Johnson, Candace Leach, Donna Young, and Nichelle Monhila. Mr. Lazaro.
My name is Felix Lazaro. Good evening, Honorable County Executive Angela Alsobrooks, and the esteemed members of the Search Committee. We have heard so many good words about Dr. Goldson, and I believe that she can be one of those nominees. I do not want to preempt your work, but I believe so. So bottom line is, what should be a good county CEO should be? Number one, a good CEO should be able to relate to the student population. I am a special educator of profound students with profound disabilities, and they are nonverbal. A CEO must also be able to motivate the workforce to find the purpose in what they do for the students and the other sectors of the school system. She must also, or he must also, be able to gain buy-in from all the stakeholders of the school system. She or he must be able to persevere in the face of adverse situations. And of course, she must be, or he must be able to maintain integrity and manage the coffers of the school system with utmost honesty. Ladies and gentlemen, we have what we call the 175 million rainy day slush fund, and our CEO should be able to manage this, being able to put back to, for the welfare of the students, the stakeholders of the school system, and of course, restore the lost steps of our teachers. I am a special educator, so I am speaking from the heart. Thank you very much, and mabuhay.
Thank you. We have Mr. Joe Fisher.
Good evening. My name is Joe Fisher, CEO and founder of First Generation College Bound. I'm a Prince George's Community Partner. I've been a Prince George's Community Partner in the system for 29 years. I became this partner because years ago, you heard a statement making about what can you do for your, it's not what I thought about people are always saying it's not, think about not what your school system can do for you, but what can you do for the school system. That has always been my pattern and my thought. Because of kids like me growing up in a household with parents that did not have a high school education, with hopes for all 8 of us just to graduate high school. As a result, because of that and getting my college degree, I gave back by starting First Generation College Bound. Starting with 10 kids 29 years ago, we have 2,100 kids we've helped with best fit college affordability. 900 are still in college today from Prince George's County, and of those 2,100 kids that have gone to college and 900 in college, 990 have associate's degrees, 530 has bachelor's degrees, 134 have master's, and 16 have doctorate degrees. Alonzo Washington, one of our individuals who started with in 8th grade, is a state delegate today, who you announced earlier. I just want you to know, I'm here to testify in support of Monica Golston to be Chief Executive Officer for the Prince George's County School System. Due to the revolving door of CEOs coming and going with the best intentions of improving the Prince George's County school system for our students, parents, teachers, staff, and community, that has not been the case, as challenges have continued. Imagine if they've been consistent as we have 29 years ago, what would we see today? As a result, employee confidence and morale, which you've heard today, has been low, impacting our students and performance. The challenges have also overshadowed the success of our school system, as it has also created disruptions. However, since Monica Golston has been appointed, I have observed the feelings of hope and excitement of our schools, which have impacted First Generation College Bound to have more of an impact of 174 students today we're managing. I just want you to know, these administrators and students have great respect for Monica Golston due to her rising through the ranks, as you heard today, knowing the needs and challenges of our school system. Monica knows the challenges and success of the school system, and she knows what to do because she is a problem solver. She has demonstrated that very well. You've heard it over and over again. I just want you to know, First Generation College Bound is in full support of Prince George's, Dr. Monica Golston, because she knows that she will put a strategic plan in place for college success, for education success in Prince George's County Public School System. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Either one of you ladies, feel free to step up to the mic and just give your name, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, County Executive and the panel. My name is Kiana Johnson, and I am the Executive Director of Life After Release, and I am also the Criminal Justice Chair for the Prince George's County NAACP. And I'm quite surprised to come up here today and not hear much more about the school to prison pipeline, and that it took public defenders to come out here and to advocate for the students who are currently being pushed out of the system when it comes to the system-involved students. As most of you may know, well, you may not know, I am the mother of a 15-year-old black male student here in Prince George's County. And in addition to that, I want to let you all know that in 2016 to 17, there was 588 arrests here in Prince George's County of our students. Although that number has dropped some, or we're down to like maybe 300 some odd now, there's still a very big problem. And I'm not here to advocate for or against Dr. Goldstein. What I am here to advocate for is that we need a bold approach to ending the school to prison pipeline here in Prince George's County. The next CEO must shift away from the normal the normal punitive discipline system that we currently have, and they must also reprioritize the current funding that is being used for school resource officers and invest that instead in schools to community-based social workers, counselors, nurses, and other services that promote higher levels of education. They must also examine the school district suspension and expulsion policies and develop evidence-based, trauma-informed policies and practices that support students staying in school environments rather than punishing them through the suspension and the expulsion. They must also research and evaluate the process and decision-makings and outcomes as they relate to the criminalization of K through 12, particularly students of color. We have to get away from this lock them up, put them out, and shut them up mentality that we currently have. So whoever it is that you all decide to pick, please make sure that the school to prison pipeline is prioritized and first on the list. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Our next series of speakers, I know we have Candace Leach, Donna Young, Nichelle Mandahila, Jermaine Smith, and Jennifer Hooker. Again, if you could please make your way, if you're here in the audience, please make your way. Ma'am, proceed.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Candace Leach, and I am the president of the Largo High School PTSA and a parent of 2 Largo High School alumni and 1 junior of the Largo Academy of Business and Finance. I stand before you today to remind the entire selection committee to let the voices of the community and the schoolhouse ring loud during your search for the next CEO of Prince George's County Public Schools. In your search, the candidates that make it to your hot list should be ready to commit to the following. 1, the need for equity in building renovations. Everything shouldn't go to just a few of the schools, and construction funding. 2, more instructional programs connected to Prince George's Community College. 3, the next CEO should be invested not just in Prince George's County Public School, but to Prince George's County and be a byproduct of the educational system in which she will lead. 4, be able to make cuts in order to divert those funds back to providing quality education. And 5, but most importantly, when our school was in crisis due to the passing of a student last week, she and her staff not only showed up, but has continued to provide the resources that our school family needs. So, just in case you didn't get it, we are asking that you please put Dr. Monica Golson in the position of CEO of Prince George's County Public School. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Ms. Donna Young, Nichelle Mandahila, Jermaine Smith, Jennifer Hooker, Erica Farrell or Farrell. You can step to the mic, ma'am. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Hooker, and I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be heard. And I'm happy to see Ms. Bridgewater up there, because you probably don't remember me, but I met you about 11 years ago when my granddaughter was at Glenarden Woods. I'm recently retired after 30 years of working in Prince George's County as a speech-language pathologist. I retired in 2018. And I retired being 4 steps behind in my pay scale. My salary did not increase, but my duties and responsibilities did. There was a lack of supplies, like the parent was just saying, with the child with the speech impairment. There was a lack of supplies and equipment needed to do my job effectively. My working conditions were substandard. And it is my understanding that the monies have been budgeted for teachers to get their step increases, but we never did. So what happened to the money? We did, as a speech pathologist, I did billing for Medicaid. I don't know, they told us that the Medicaid money would go to Upper Marlboro, go to the Upper Marlboro, and be put in a general fund. So it was not channeled back to the speech and language department or to the special education department. So the parent is absolutely telling the truth about the lack of supplies and funds, things needed for special education, especially for speech pathology. What I think the county needs in a CEO is someone that will respect the community's input, a CEO that will honor the negotiated bargaining agreements, that will give us our step increases when we need them, when we require them, that will ensure that our school's budget is aligned with the master plan that will show specifically where the money is going. And it will be easy for the community to know where the money is going if it is aligned to the master plan. And if it's aligned to the master plan, things, you can see things that are coming into the county from the local and the state levels. We need a CEO with a proven track record, with success with a large urban school district with some level of integrity. And I want to thank you for transparency. I'm glad that we're following the law. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir?
Good evening. My name is Jermaine Smith. Thank you for your time this evening, county exec and board. I'm a county resident for the last 20 years. 20 or plus years. I am a concerned parent and resident taxpayer. I have school-age kids that are not in the PG County system, and they are not in the PG County system because I don't trust it. okay? I'm glad to see that Monica Golson has so much support here, but what I'm here to talk about is that we need to advocate for a proper search, which I'm glad you guys are doing, because leadership of the school system has to be accountable and run down through the people that work under them, okay? And as it stands right now, I know of things that are happening. I'd be glad to talk about it offline, that things are happening that are morally criminal with the special education system in this county. As the mother talked about earlier, she didn't even get into all the things that are happening. These kids are completely disenfranchised, okay? I don't believe that Monica Golson necessarily knows it, but the people of her minions under her are doing things that I don't believe should be happening to the kids and to the teachers and to the administrators of this county. Things that are happening in the system, I know firsthand. Primary concern is that the county is making, those people are making decisions that are trying to make the system look good as opposed to making the system work right and the kids get the right things. It's just, it's horrible, it's deplorable, and we need to address it. I hope that Monica Golson is the right person. I'm not here to advocate for or against her, but there needs to be change, and we need to understand what's going on. And I've heard from a lot of administrators, and we're not getting the whole story. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, we can make sure we get your information. Glenda, can you get his information for us, please, so we can please reach out to him? Thank you. We have Erica Farrell, Darlene House, Andrew Nichols, Glenn Ogilvie, and Cherie Howard. Again, Erica Farrell, I apologize again if any mispronunciation. Darlene House, Andrew Nichols, Glenn Ogilvie, and Cherie Howard. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Madam County Executive, members of the panel. I'm Andrew Nicholas with Adventist Healthcare. I'm actually going to turn my time over to Dr. Jimmy Venza. Dr. Venza is the Executive Director of the Laurie Center, member of Adventist Healthcare, to speak for on the positive relationship that we've had with Prince George's County Public Schools under Dr. Golson.
Good evening, County Executive Alsobrooks and the committee, of course, and all the citizens here holding in. Just want to thank you for this opportunity. As Executive Director of the Laurie Center for Children's Social and Emotional Wellness, we are a nonprofit Center for Infant and Early Childhood Mental Health, a pioneer in the field. Dr. Reg Laurie, T. Barry Brazelton, and Dr. Greenspan created a center where we can support social emotional wellness for children and young families, serving birth to 12 and their families, children birth to 12. A team of 200 dedicated teachers, social workers, psychologists, home visitors. And we've been in Prince George's County for 20 years, and also our primary home is in Montgomery County. I just wanted to share tonight, for the last year, we've been working actively engaged with Prince George's County Public Schools and Dr. Golson and her leadership team in exploring extended partnership. We've fully executed a memorandum of understanding to bring specialized therapeutic preschool services as well as Head Start services to the county. We've been greatly appreciative of the collaborative spirit and the nature of this work together to bring educational and special needs services to our youngest and most vulnerable children and families. So we look forward to extending that partnership and continuing in the years ahead. And we would just want to thank you, County Executive, for the opportunity to come tonight and give voice to our experience, be heard, and wish you and all the members of the search committee well. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, good evening. My name is Darlene House, and I am here to say that I believe that Monica Golson is the right person to assume the responsibility and the role of CEO for Prince George's County Public Schools. I am an employee. I've worked in Prince George's County Public Schools since 2001. I have two sons. They both graduated from this very high school. And this auditorium, by the way, is named after the principal that was here when they were here. Now, it's just a coincidence that the principal mentored Dr. Golson. She made such an amazing impact on my sons, both of them. They had, most boys, because I've heard people talk about the school and going to prison, but my sons had such tremendous respect for Dr. Well, she wasn't a doctor, but she should have been. Yeah, Dr. Helena Nobles-Jones. She just was a phenomenal person, and the students respected her highly. And so having said that, Dr. Golson happened to be mentored by this great woman. And Dr. Golson, who, when I met her, she was just Monica. When Monica was here and she and I would talk, well, there was Dr. Clark, and then there was Dr. Metz, and then there was Dr. Hornsby. Oh, wait, then there was Dr. Dacey. Oh, wait a minute, then Dr. Height. Oh, wait. Then there was, I can't remember his name, but he went to Alexandria. And then there was Dr. Maxwell. And so at some point you just lose who's who. But consistent was Dr. Golson. Oh my. She was here when Dr. Clark, Dr. Metz, Dr. Hornsby, Dr. Dacey, Dr. Height. Oh, wait, Monica was here, consistent. If you're looking for consistency, and I don't have grandkids, but when I do, I hope she's somewhere in this area being superintendent, CEO. I don't care what you call her. I just want her to be the person that you all have the intelligence to approve to be the leader of this great school district. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good evening, County Executive Alsobrooks and members of the Search Committee. My name is Glenn Ogilvie, and I'm Chief Executive Officer at the Center for Nonprofit Advancement. I will add additional praise, just as we've heard here tonight, for Dr. Golson, and my praise comes under the auspices of consistency as well, but also momentum. At the Center for Nonprofit Advancement, we've been supporting about 800 nonprofit organizations over the past 40 years, 10 and a half of which I've been at the helm. Many of our organizations focus on education either directly or indirectly, and in order to reach young people, we must partner with schools, as you've heard today. Those school partnerships are going well, and they are strong and thriving. For that purpose and for that reason, and also from our experience of executive transition, my vote is for consistency and to maintain the momentum we have with someone who understands the system, understands the leadership and the people in Prince George's County. With that, I will not take my full 2 minutes, but what I will say in closing is that understanding the full population of young people is a difficult task. Understanding a system and all of its quirkiness and turnaround as necessary is even more difficult. So someone who knows the system is traditionally someone who's going to be well set in order to be successful. Thank you.
Thank you. So next, we've hit the home stretch, everyone. So we have Cherie Howard, Denise Yorkshire, Jared Tyler, Juanita Miller, Michelle Clark, and Wanda Finch. Cherie Howard, Denise Yorkshire, Jared Tyler, Juanita Miller, Michelle Clark, and Wanda Finch.
Hello, my name is Sherry Howard. Excuse me, I am a former student. I graduated from PG County in 1991. I became a nurse because of a wonderful teacher who actually inspired me when I myself was in special ed. He inspired me, I remember, in his 12th grade class, because most of my years I was in special ed, coloring or doing all crazy things, but he actually would come to my table and ask a question and put his hands on my head and slap my hand if I didn't get it right. That inspired me. He's since died. I wish I could tell him that I became a nurse because of what he did. I'm now the proud parent of a son who is in the 3rd grade. I live in a community. I knew that I was going to move to this community because I wanted to afford it. But I knew that the school system was not the kind of school system I want for my child. But I said I'm going to be involved so that after becoming a parent, a proud parent now, I'm a vice president of the PTO because right now there's about 4 parents that's involved. But you know what? I'm still pushing and excited. My son is always thankful. My mom is going to be the president of the PTO. I said, can you just be happy that I'm the vice president? But I want to say what I believe an exceptional leader should be. They should be inspirational, and they should be passionate. I know I don't come on behalf of anyone but my child that I decide I want to be in this school system, and I want the best system. And as I tell the parents, we can make it better. Yes, I have a part to play, and I'm going to play my part to the best I can. And so our superintendents, our leaders have a part to play to make sure that we have people who are available, somebody that people can touch and feel. So somebody that is around, that's what we need. Someone we can depend on and that we know that they care. So when I say inspirational, someone that inspires, someone that cares beyond their job, their money. And yes, I do believe, I'm almost done, but yes, I do believe teachers need to be paid more because they work really hard with children that are disrespectful, and they really do. And so, yeah, we want to inspire our teachers so that they need to be paid so that they can be inspired. So if they want to stay after to help the child, they can stay after. So I'm done, but thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Denise Yorkshire. I'm a mother and grandmother of graduates of this system. But I'm also the proud president of Local 2250. I represent the educational support personnel in your system. And I must say that we've heard a lot of accolades about what Monica Golson has done. So I don't need to repeat them. I just want to say that we are in support of them, and I'd like to give the rest of my time to Local 400.
Good afternoon. My name is Cynthia Collins, Political Director for SEIU Local 400. I'm standing in place of my President William Selma, who's on a retreat. We also stand in favor of Monica Golson being our CEO. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam County Executive. I think I'm standing between everybody and people turning in tonight, so I'll be very brief. I'm Wanda Finch. I'm also the PTO president for CMIT Academy in North Laurel. And I just wanted to highlight a couple of things that I think will be important to the search committee as you have an arduous task ahead of you. Now, I'm not a native of Maryland. I've been here in Maryland for almost 25 years, maybe 30 years. I've stopped counting. But I do want to say, in addition to all of the wonderful things we've heard about Dr. Golson, and I've met her, I think she's a wonderful person, wonderful selection for the search committee to consider. But her leadership can't just happen in a vacuum. It's going to take a culture shift within the system. And having been a parent of 2 children who are now almost about to exit the system, I think I could stand here all night and give you examples of horror stories and other challenges that we've experienced as a family. But there needs to be some level of accountability to ensure that the traditional charter schools, traditional public schools and the charter schools are not treated differently. As a parent of 2 students at CMIT Academy, we often find that when we come to many officials within the school system, we are turned away or we're told that they don't have an answer for addressing some of the policy issues that we're bringing forward. So I would hope accountability will be one of those criterion that you have on your search committee list. And that brings up the issue of closing the divide between the traditional public schools as well as the public charter schools. I'd also like to offer a few questions for the search committee to consider. The first, is there a jail diversion plan to address some of the issues that we've heard about students going from school into jail systems? What about a trauma-informed care environment and system? We're surrounded by a number of federal agencies that have free resources who are just there for the taking. All you have to do is ask and make the right connection. And then finally, I haven't heard anyone mention the partnership between school, community, and parents. You can't work with the kids unless you're working with the parents. So I hope that that's another question to be asked in your search. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Ms. Michelle Clark.
Before you start my time, could you read off the rest of the list so we know who else is on here to speak? Because I know that our president, Teresa Dudley, signed up, but...
We don't have that. We don't have Ms. Dudley's name on the list.
You don't? In that case, I'm going to yield my time to her as she is our top representative at PGCEA.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Michelle, and thank you for being a committed board member. I'm glad you had this forum tonight because it is impressive to the Prince George's County Educators Association and our 10,000 members that you are listening to the community. Your selection of Dr. Alvin Thornton as chair of the school board it has been transformational. The work during legislative session in Annapolis that you and the acting CEO, Dr. Monica Golson, did for the Prince George's County Public Schools was instrumental in bringing resources. PGCEA recognizes these efforts, changing the tone, tenor, and the perception of PGCPS. Tonight, our concern is the continuance of this magnificent work, more specifically keeping Dr. Monica Golson at our helm. As you know, we are in negotiations with the school system to renew our contract. Our work in negotiations is not an indictment of the CEO personally, her attributes, or the great work she is doing. We are pleased with the great work on improving educator evaluations, the implementation of the community schools pilot, working to end the school to prison pipeline, which Dr. Golson helped us get that pilot program off the ground. We are also pleased with the work of the compensation task force. Dr. Golson has been accessible and transparent, and we know this will continue. PGCEA was promised compensation parity with surrounding jurisdictions, as you mentioned earlier, in order for us to support the casino referendum. The former county executive physically came to PGCEA and made that promise to get us to support the ballot initiative. It was that broken promise that lost him the support of PGCEA and in turn MSEA. We need you, Dr. Golson and Dr. Thornton, to be the heroes when it comes to teacher retention and compensation. Funding the school system and choosing leadership is your role. I'm going to ask for a little indulgence as the representative of the 10,000 educators in Prince George's County, please. While PGCEA has been working hard to bring best practices to PGCPS, the reality is that our members are done being treated poorly. We are having a difficult time recruiting quality educators. Our members are disheartened after the last administration, administrative leave, forced collaborative planning, excessive testing, and of course being steps behind, because all of this affects the children. The concept of trust in the past institutional actions of PGCPS to make our members whole on compensation has been broken. We need heroic commitment and action. Dr. Golson invokes trust and has our confidence. She has done more to repair the harm to our system in a few months than we imagined. Our members need a sign that it is a new day for them in terms of compensation. It has been an institutional practice to balance the budget on the backs of employees. The institution of PGCPS needs you to give us a hero that will bring our members to whole and repair the harm they have been living for the past 10 years. We have been and still intend to be frank, honest, and committed to making PGCPS the best for the children. Our children deserve a hero, and so do the employees of PGCPS. Please, let Dr. Golson be our heroine.
Thank you, Ms. Dudley. I will have final words by our County Executive Angela Alsobrooks.
I want to thank all of you. Thank you so much, Teresa, and thank you to each of you for not only coming out tonight, but for staying until the bitter end. This is important to all of us, and I'll leave with two concepts. One is that I was always raised, and my parents said, if you do it right, it'll turn out right. And that's essentially what we have done tonight. We have done this the right way, and I know that it is going to turn out well for us. The second thing is, I think Pastor Browning both said it best. When we think about the qualities that we all want in our CEO, we have heard many, many qualifications tonight, but I think the quality that stuck out was love. Among all things, I think Nelson Mandela said that a quick mind and a compassionate heart are the winning combination, and that is what we need in our school system, is not only a leader who knows how to do the job, but also knows how to treat everyone who interfaces with our system. And so this is so important to us. I thank you so much for your commitment in being out here tonight. This is about our children. This is about our children. And so I have to tell you that the number of people who signed up tonight far exceeded the number of people who have come out for any hearing that we have hosted on any matter in Prince George's County, and it really does speak volumes about this community. It says that we understand well our priorities, and there is nothing more important than our children. So thank you so much for coming out tonight. You can expect that the search committee will forward to me names by the middle of June. I will interview all of those individuals and then forward the name to the Board of Education through our chair, Dr. Alvin Thornton, and Dr. Alvin Thornton will take it from there. And so we'll have this entire process will be completed by the end of June, and we will make that announcement, and we are really looking forward to it. But we thank you so much for being a part of this hearing tonight, and we will now hand the rest of the process over to this selection committee. I want to thank them for being here tonight as well. I can tell you that I looked down and I could see the notes were being taken as you all were talking, so they were certainly taking into account all of the concerns that you raised tonight. I know will be a huge part of their selection process, and we just thank you so much again. Good night, everybody. Please be careful getting home. Thank you.